Welcome to your OG show of the week. What do we got here, Danny?
This is, I'm double checking. I'm in the interface. The show this week that we are doing is show number 427, entitled Semen Cereal Bowl. Obviously RA material. And let me go to the notes here. You're also getting a bonus show in the end of this. You're getting none other than, I believe he bills himself as the Rat King, Theo Von, on the end.
No, we were just talking about Theo Von.
You get a little Theo Von on the end of this.
Yeah, who was dating Theo Von?
The roommate.
Yeah, the roommate.
Good job Wednesday from last week.
Yeah,
From last week.
We are orb hard lately, man.
That is
That's the
weird.
pull.
That's the weirdo great magnet.
That's the pull.
4 years ago, somehow there's a weird cycle that we're just.
It cycles every 4 years.
Constantly.
Everything is cyclical, right?
I mean,
in my world, everything's shaped in circles, right? And it's a pebble in the lake, and then the ring goes out, and then where are you going to feel that reverberation?
Well, okay.
When are you going to get that interference?
So everything's on a spectrum based on
the bingo card is hot
like
today.
Sound, light waves. Everything's basically a spectrum, and then our emotions and our brains work on a spectrum, and it seems like human emotions all on a spectrum. And do you think it also works? It coincides with the natural cycle of the Earth too, where we're all on just the same cycle.
I think naturally, just like any other species of wolf or bear or fish, whatever, the salmon are going upstream, right? A lot of them die because it's hard. They're exhausted by the time they get up there to produce, whatever. They're dumping eggs or whatever,
Yeah.
We are doing some version of that, even with all the different things that we've done to disrupt the cycle. We are still in some sort of cycle where if you lay it all out on a big map, you're going to have some overlap that makes sense. And that's what I think is happening. It is a natural cycle of thought. It is a natural cycle of energy. It's not explainable, but it's there.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense, and not to go too
go deep.
Pull out
Sam, get the bong out. Let's roll.
Let's
do this, man.
Like, hey, everything's
get
a
the
cycle,
fucking bong out. Let's go.
But we talked to the supervillains this week. That's what they told us to do.
Yeah. Hey, but
supervillains, by the way, reggae ICP.
It does. It does make sense that if the Earth and everything is naturally a seasonal cycle, and then it goes back, and then it's like
I'm telling you, I really believe
the same year. We're in the same position next year as we will this year in the.
And based on all of that, humans have similar thoughts.
Yeah.
I think
Ari Shafir had a joke that we told on the show.
I think there are cyclical thoughts, cyclical energy that it
nothing's original.
Yeah, it rippled out, and energy cannot be destroyed, so it has to reinvent itself in some way, and here it is because there's not that many original thoughts.
But we're not talking about anything supernatural. We're just talking about in some way, because the chances are too high to even calculate, where we have a person on Weird Job Wednesday that just so happened to, Samantha scheduled.
These are very specific things that line up, right? It's like Theo Von. That's specific. That is a person, place, or thing. That is an actual. It's an easy point to us to get to, an easy end game. Theo Von, right? And then all we need is for two things to naturally find Theo Von, and this happens almost every week, if not every week, every other week. We have something that we did 5 years ago line up monthly with something that we're currently doing. And I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
Is that,
it's happened a
accurate,
lot.
Right?
Yeah. And it's a weird thing.
Normally you point it out. And I know you don't believe in this shit, neither do I, but you are more so the more outspoken skeptic. And when this stuff happens, you're like, what? What is this?
Well, here's what I believe in. I believe in our brain power, and the same thing with the goddamn
dowsing rods.
The dowsing rods. It's your brain power doing what you think is the magic or the science of the detecting the goddamn.
We're still getting voicemails about it. Now we're just getting voicemails where people are just straight up saying Kostya's wrong. Like now we're just getting guys that are like, I'm listening to this guy, and they're like, he's an idiot, and I'm like.
Because they use it and they're like, it works.
It's like, like religion. You can't, if someone believes it, they believe it, that's it. no matter what, any argument you have.
What's weird, yes, you're right, but what's weird is they are not thinking it like religion or faith.
It's not the same
They're
thing.
like, it works. This guy's wrong. I've used it. I use it every day. And
People
then,
think prayer works. You know?
That's true, but it's so. But that's loose.
Man,
that's loose evidence.
I don't want to do this hot take.
So is fucking Dowsing.
I don't want to do this hot take, but I will do this hot take. There's never been a time in my life where I've prayed about something and then I was like, oh yeah, prayer.
It worked.
I've never been the type, like, I know that was my mom's path, 1,000,000%. And hey, we get a little serious in this OG, that's fine. But like, she was all about the prayer, right?
Yeah.
And as a kid, I never had any evidence that anything I ever said, I'm not being flippant about this. Look, if prayer works for you, then there's a meditative
keep
state.
doing it,
Keep doing, do whatever makes your life great as long as you're not hurting other people. But I never got any answers about it, and that was something that was really hard. Ari asked me at the show, actually. It's funny, this ties in, too. He was like, because I said, I was going to be a youth pastor, so this whole set that you did, I was like, this is awesome. Because everything he was talking about was kind of mirrored in some way.
Because he studied to be a rabbi
right,
for years.
Or sort of parallel in my experience, right?
Yeah.
So it was really interesting to hear that, the way he was raised and the disconnect there. I have a very similar story. And he's like, well, what happened? Why didn't you continue it? And I was like, I didn't believe in God. And he was like, oh, of course. He's like, that was the one for me. He's like, he woke up one day and he's like, I don't believe in any of this. It's just not, I've been doing it, but I don't believe in it.
That technically doesn't have to stop you from being religious or, practicing religion, because sometimes it's just about, the positive thinking of it, the community, that kind of thing.
I feel stupid for buying these. I bought the expensive-ass dowsing rods. I got these goods. I haven't even used these. Not even one time. You
they
use
look like
them.
a TV antenna.
They are
Right?
TV antennas. They're brass. These are brass. These are expensive.
You
These
can use that for a costume.
These
for
are
sure.
$14. Ow! They're hitting me in their whack.
There's a ghost.
Well, what does this mean?
There's a ghost underneath you.
It's whacking me in the head. But anyway,
Ask it a question.
Well, they don't work, so I'm asking a dumb question. I'm like, why is it whacking me in the head? Well, yeah, because it's an inanimate object.
Maybe it's whacking you because it's pissed off you're talking shit.
But it's the same reason why people think prayer
Getting you good.
or positivity or positive thinking works, because it does work essentially in the fact that, going back to cycles, you have good and bad times in life, right? And
that's what Led Zeppelin said.
What is almost 100% for the most part, and I'm talking about the mean and not just individual, because some people have it real bad. Like, you see some people, you're like, man, that's bad. Like, this guy or girl is having a terrible go at it, and it's like having a series of horrible luck. That is,
oh my God, we got a lot of things lining up. I got to go through what's on this particular show.
Uh-oh.
Tom and Dan foot golf tournament. We got that. Cleaning fees. Semen cereal bowl. Synthetic urine. Getting closer. Peeing on your engine. Brass against Daytona Beach.
Well, now we're just
I'm joking. That's what people do, though, right? You fall into the trap where you're like, oh my God, I can connect more dots. Let's go.
I'm loving the Taylor Swift stuff right now.
What's that?
All the conspiracies about all the different stuff in the short film and the re-release of her album, and everyone's doing all these connections. It's like, I don't know.
I don't know.
They're like, in this music video, she talks about an actress at a party, and look at this person in the video. They're a waitress asking her about how she feels. Guess who played a waitress for 13 years in a show? Jennifer Aniston. She's talking about Jennifer Aniston. I'm like, okay.
Wait, at the Central Perk? I never connected the dots on her being a waitress at the Central Perk.
Yeah.
It's
And
nuts.
I think she got another
It's fun to
job.
watch on
barely a barista.
I give credit and both hate the conspiracy theory culture we're creating with kiddos. This whole Travis Scott satanic bullshit.
Well, that's been around.
But
Satanic
all of
Panic's
this,
been an 80s thing.
But all of this stuff. Now though, these kids, they like to go in on it, and then they're like, it's almost a form of trolling where they're like, look at this.
For sure.
And I'm like, you're wasting your time. Why don't you study actual history? Study something that like
they can't.
It's just
They won't let them.
It's entertainment at this point, right?
Right. No, I get it, but it seems like a waste unless those particular types of stories are going to be the new way that we form entertainment, or maybe it's already happening. I don't know.
Well, speaking of that, I was telling.
We do Coco Loco again on this one. I think this is our
Couldn't get enough.
chocolate snorting phase.
I was telling some BDMs at Hourglass this theory, in which, like most people, they just stare at me and they're like, "Why do you think about these? Who gives a shit? You're an idiot." But I started. Max, he didn't want to watch Home Sweet Home Alone anymore. He's like, I hate this.
Yeah, he's a good kid.
So I'm like, we'll go in the other room, we'll watch our own shit. So we started watching YouTube, which they love, but I don't want to watch the video game stuff and the garbage. I was like, let's watch trick shot videos. So we started watching Dude Perfect, and then like apparently there's these kids that are kind of like
Maximilian Van. I hope he starts a channel where he's just dunking basketballs and throwing paper balls off the wall and into the waste paper basket.
They're kind of emulating Dude Perfect with doing trick shots, right? And it's like they look like there's a bunch of Green Bay Packers bed sheets and like hoodies. So I'm guessing they're somewhere in Wisconsin or something.
No, I'm kidding. No,
well, I mean, like, so, and they're just doing trick shots, and they put together these YouTube videos, and one of them showed like how like they put themselves a challenge of trick shots, and then it showed how long it took them, right? And so I'm looking at this, and I'm like, one aspect I'm getting mad that Max and Tommy are not ambitious or motivated enough to ever do anything like this, where it takes an unbelievable amount of time to like do these trick shots. And then, but the other aspect of it, I'm like, well, they're wasting an insane amount of time.
Yeah, you should be proud of them for not wanting to waste time for one shot.
Like one time, this trick shot, they're trying to throw a dart in the tiny hole in this boomerang that they throw up and spin. So they,
I mean, you gotta have an empty schedule to do these sort of things.
Yeah.
It took like the one kid did it for 9 hours, and
I hate these. There's I hate the ones that are more blatant. Have you seen the name challenges? Where the guy, and these are people that get a lot of views, and they're like, I said my friend Ryan Hawthorne's name 10,000 times. Watch the video, links in the bottom. Ryan Hawthorne, Ryan Hawthorne, Ryan Hawthorne, Ryan Hawthorne. And I'm like, oh my God, we're doomed.
That's stupid, yeah.
No, the guy's got millions of followers on YouTube. Look at how many people have done these name challenges. If I could snap my fingers and they all die right now, I might do it. That's very Ari of me to say.
So, but you understand, like, I feel like they accomplish something in the fact that they set something and they put their mind to it. There's
a dedication aspect to that, sure.
Yeah, but dedicate to something else.
You can dedicate yourselves to really bad causes.
But it's like most kids aren't going to dedicate themselves to something for 9 hours straight and accomplish it, and then now they have a finished product. So I'm like, that's good, but it's like an insane waste of time in your life.
Right.
But you got an ending product that got millions of views, so that's good.
Yeah,
I don't know.
What do the views do?
I don't know. I mean, they're trying to maybe turn it into something. I have no idea. Like, I don't know if they're making any money off it.
Maisie wants to do this. I found some videos on her where we were cleaning out her iPad yesterday because Andrea got her. She has graduated to a point now where she navigates the device so well, where she's starting to like dump apps like on my device because it's under my name. So all of her apps are on my iPad. They're just like scattered everywhere, and I hate it. Because I'm like looking for something, and there's like Sego Minis or some, Mario game or something. So we got her own Apple ID, and we started loading stuff on there. And just, I don't know, man. I don't know where I stand with the I found some videos on there. You can obviously see that at 6, just watching YouTube, that she's already ticked the box in her mind of like, yeah, I think I want to perform on a YouTube video. She has like little bears. She's like, hi, I'm going to do a video about these little bears, and I'm like, do I want that? Do I not want that? It's innocent enough. It's fine, but definitely got to keep an eye on
it. It seems like it just boils down to, for me at least, like, I just want any kid to be motivated to do something and then follow through whatever that is to accomplish their goal. Like, that's it. You know what I'm saying? And if you could do that, then I'm like, okay, I'm satisfied. Or, I guess the nothing, or like doing something half-ass, or like jumping from a million things, or like,
Yeah.
If someone wants to do something.
Like, what about Jim Phillips? He's a guy that's overly motivated, but goes in 1 million different hobby directions.
Well, that's fine. He's an old man. I don't get.
No, but I mean, he's been that way his whole life, though.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like, I've known him, like, I don't know, at this point, like 25 years or something. Like, and ever since I've known him, even when he was like a little bit older than me, it's like he's always, and I think he'd tell you, he's always been the guy that's like, get really into this, pull out. Get really into this, pull out. You know, like
Yeah, that's a personality trait. One of my buddies, Alex, is like that too. He gets into things, ultra into them, like obsessive, gets the best of everything,
That's
and
a
then
manic state.
From
I mean, just as far as like you know,
hyper focused on one thing and then switch on.
hobbies, and then he'll eventually just switch it to something else. But he goes all in.
Juan says
like
in our Facebook chat room for BDMs, he says people spend dozens of hours making machines in Minecraft. Is that less valuable than doing the same thing in real life? It's literally the same thing. The only problem with that, because I agree with you, but the disconnect I see there is that not everybody can enjoy your Minecraft machine, whereas an actual machine takes no software, it takes no Xbox or video gaming system or computer. Minecraft is very specialized, so if you're building machines in Minecraft, only people that are into Minecraft can enjoy it, but actual machines, everybody can enjoy because you don't have to have an interface to, it's a machine. It's there. I don't need something to get into it. I don't need another platform.
Well, for adults, like I've had the mindset for a while that like, okay, video games seem like the killer of time. It's like you do it to kill time, and I'm like, why would you do that? You need all the time. Time is limited. Always utilize your time, but if you're utilizing your time to de-stress and for your mental health, then that is a good use of that time.
Sure.
See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
If you
That's
do it too
danger,
much,
right? Yeah,
then it's a waste of time. I guess it's all about figuring out how much is the perfect amount to de-stress. Probably insanely complicated.
Well, that's kind of what Ari was talking about, right? Is that he said, I add in the relaxing part as part of what we're supposed to be doing. That's a very mature and very Andrea looks at like de-stressing like that. Like we're very different. I don't really de-stress. I'm kind of a mess. Whereas she will actually take the time to do things that are like good for her, and she looks at that as like, this is just the thing.
Part of life.
This is just the thing you have to do in order to take care of your brain, take care of your body. I get that. I'm trying to be better at that.
Also, it depends on how you're built. Everybody's different. Like I'm disappointed that I'm not that hard of a worker, because I do find myself I feel like I figured it out. If I just focus and work as hard as I fucking can every single day, like even at this job that we do, then that's the key. I mean, why wouldn't it be the key? Just do that. And then I remember just a while back, I was like real focused on doing that, and then I fucking burning myself out.
Yeah.
And then I was like, then becoming like miserable about it, and then not even.
Which also then affects your work.
Exactly. So
which
then
is another cycle.
So then I was like, well, that's that you can't do that, because that was making me hate. I mean, not hate my job, but it was making me.
I understand what you mean.
Dislike doing it, because I was like, it was like, well. You got to figure out the balance, and it's all subjective to everybody.
Burning question in the chat room. Let's just pivot. Why not? We can do whatever we want. You're BDMs. We're BDMs. Let's have fun. Is it perceived to be tacky if your wedding has a cash bar? You're good at this.
I'm so over,
Sometimes Tom will just rip the Band-Aid off, and he'll be like,
These
absolutely
rules at
tacky,
weddings.
Tom Bayan.
Listen, I'm just going to tell you.
Weddings are expensive.
They
so
are, but
listen,
that
if
is
you're
tacky.
There, I don't give a damn.
Listen,
I'm not saying, you cannot give a damn, but I'm just saying what it is. It's still tacky.
You can do what you want, and everybody can afford different things, but when I'm at your wedding, and then I go up to the bar, and it's not free.
And they're like $350. I'm like, oh my God.
Cheapos here.
Yeah.
Guess what? I didn't have a cash bar at mine, and you didn't show up to mine, so fuck you. That's tacky.
Did he say he was coming?
I had a funeral.
Because that's really tacky.
I had my grandma's funeral.
You went skiing in Colorado.
On his grandma's casket. You idiot.
That's a van.
I didn't realize that was the tradition.
Her last wish is to go off the bike.
It's really awkward when I crash into the all the ski poles.
She fell out. I told you should have bungeed it.
And her body rockets out of her casket.
At least she's not rotting.
She's rotting. But
they're all rotten, Sam. All of them. My mom already. They got her.
Yeah.
No, she's burned up.
Anyway,
I think.
If you don't offer free drinks at your wedding, people are going to judge you.
You know the last thing I said to the funeral home? I said, may I have my mother's fillings? I didn't say that.
Here's what's better than even like because if you get a bar, I've seen this before.
Oh, it's Bart Merrick's birthday, everybody. Annoy his Facebook.
I've been to weddings. My buddy the Wizard, who just had put a bunch of liquor bottles and mixers on a table.
I don't want to mix my own
drinks. A cooler full of beer.
I don't want to mix my own drinks. Get a human or a midget. I want.
That I'll because then it's like I'll mix my own drinks. Now
I don't like mixing my own drinks.
We all proceed,
undoubtedly the drinks are in plastic cups and they're always hot. If you mix your own drink, it's always a hot drink.
Now there are repercussions with this because Pudge.
Poor heavy.
Sam and I love Pudge.
You mean his pants fell in the bushes?
I get a spicy Sam and Pudge on one day?
Not spicy.
A little bit. I like you. The
Spicy
chat
at
room
all.
said you are when you're like, fuck you. I like that.
Well, I wasn't really mad at Tom.
I like a spicy Sam.
I think
with a side of Pudge.
He peed on the outside of his pants. Kind of. That's a Tom Van.
I don't do that.
He peed his pants.
I straight pee my pants down.
He peed on his pants, not in his pants.
I can feel it.
And then he fell in the bushes.
Every time I sit
he peed
down,
in his pants and fell in the bushes.
every time I can sit down, I am hyper aware enough, not quite as much as your wife is, but I can feel a little bit of urine inching up my urethra. I can feel it, and I can feel it when it gets to the top, and it's like, I can feel it. I've lost some elasticity in there, man.
Yeah.
I've lost some elasticity in there for sure.
That's
It's unfortunate, man. It's
loose.
It's kind of bumming me. No, it's the
loose.
different. It's tight. It stays in there. Like I can't get it out.
Well, because it's coming out.
No, it's not coming out. I need to get a boner to get all the pee out of my cock.
Oh my god.
I'm spicy. I was projecting.
Let's switch to the BDM show. We'll do some voicemails, emails.
Do you want me to finish what is in this one? Let's see. Oh man, damage control with group text.
Oh, what was that? I want to know what that was.
Pop, blood pressure talk, Coco Loco, Sammy Sosa is pink.
Oh yeah, Pepto-Bismol Sosa.
And then I guess, that's basically it. So yeah, enjoy this. I'm going to put Theo Vaughn's only appearance on our show on the end of this. That's before he blew up, and then we'll never see him again.
Coachella this year.
Yeah, we'll never see him again. That guy. I got the feeling when he was leaving here that he was on the cusp of being a little too big for us.
Find him funny.
I know you don't, but it was like one of those things where as he was leaving, I kind of got the vibe.
I get it though. I get the shtick.
He don't want to be here.
Yeah, I can't ever gauge.
I got the feeling.
I don't think most comedians will be back in studio live.
Ever again.
Because,
especially if they have a big show, big podcaster.
Because them doing it through video conference has probably worked for the past 2 years, and then they're like, well, I'm never going to do that shit again. Because
they got to get up early. They got to drive somewhere.
Don't blame them.
A driver from the Improv or Bonkers or Laugh Factory or
Mike
all this
Charette's
shit.
driving them around
They got to go pick you up at the hotel early to do the morning show.
Then they got to eat Publix collard greens for breakfast.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, they ain't never doing that shit. They're never going back. It's never going back.
All right, it's a good place to
right.
enjoy
Never
this.
going back to normal.
Yeah, we'll see you on the BDM show.
Welcome to your BDM show of the week. I feel like this BDM show, we're just going to shoot the shit, do some voicemail, email.
Do you guys remember the song? It went like, you make me feel like dancing. I want to dance the night away. Do you remember that?
Kind of sounds familiar.
By who?
I couldn't tell you. It just popped into my brain. I'm sorry.
All right.
It's just, sometimes music pops into my brain and I can't get it out. You want to do some voicemail messages?
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of them. Do you remember our other Canadian dude that calls in?
Canadian truck driver.
Yeah, I forget his name. He called in. Here.
Hey, Dan. Canadian Matt here. BDM.
Canadian
I
Matt.
also hate The Nightmare Before Christmas. I think it's terrible. I fucking hate it. I'm on your side, buddy. Take care.
So much hate. Look,
Is it the
That was my side.
we're trying not to yuck on
the
people's...
stop motion
Yeah.
that everyone hates?
Okay, it's. I want to describe this accurately because it's Samantha. It's beloved in her household. It's not that I dislike The Nightmare Before Christmas. It's that there is FOMO that I get because I'm not into it. Do you ever get that? Do you guys ever get that where you see everybody else like they're all in on it and you're kind of like, I want to like it, but it's not grabbing me. You don't really hate it. You don't.
No, I don't. I'll just be like, nah, wasn't for me.
But I want to. It's almost like I feel like I'm losing out. I'm like, why doesn't this hit with me?
I hate when other people try to force you to like something just because they like it, or a lot of people like it. I'm like,
I have to be careful
much.
with that. I have a tendency to do that with people. I'm like, I want you to like this so bad. I think everybody. Well, not everybody.
Sure, people want
Sure.
to share an experience or share a like, but it's also like it's just you just gotta accept everything's not for everybody.
I get mad at people that like stuff that I don't find
I know.
enjoyable. I'm like, why do you
You're
like
the worst
that?
of everybody.
Yeah, I know.
No, but I like that though.
Because he shits on everything that everyone likes.
Well, I like
Yeah.
shitting on things too. I'm trying to get better at it. But no, I cannot put a definitive reason on to answer anyone's question. I can't find a reason why I do not like The Nightmare Before Christmas, but I just know that I don't. But then I'll see other things, like I saw the behind the scenes, and I loved it. And then I go to watch the movie, and I'm like, can't get into it. It sucks. I hate it. It's like I'm conflicted. It's like I feel like I'm missing the party.
I'll tell you why I think I don't like it.
Okay.
Is because the claymation or the stop motion animation or whatever the hell that is.
Sure.
I understand how hard it is and how much work it takes
You
to do
just
it.
don't like the way it looks.
I don't appreciate that like I should, and like other people I think do that like it.
That's a good.
Like when I'm watching, I don't appreciate how hard it is to do it, and it
so
doesn't
hard.
it doesn't register like, oh, all these tiny movements are in put together to make the motion, and that's super hard, and therefore it should be impressive as I watch it.
Yes.
But I'm not impressed. I'm just like, this is not as good as cartoons.
Okay, all right.
Or like CGI or whatever.
Yeah,
and then so I'm like, you made it really hard, but it's like sandcastles.
It's like castles made of sand,
When-
fall in the sea eventually. Jimi Hendrix.
When every once in a while they'll bring out some sort of sculptor or some like professional sandcastle.
At Daytona Beach, when you're peeing in bikers' mouths. Yes, I've seen this.
And then they'll build this super elaborate sandcastle.
It's usually a sunshine, and then underneath it says, world's most famous beach.
And it took them a long time to do, and with insane amount of skill, and
They smoke the whole time, by the way. Every sandcastle sculptor smokes cigarettes.
And I just don't appreciate it. I just walk by, I'm like, all right, there it is. Like I don't look at it like,
What about an ice sculpture? Ice sculpture above sand sculpture, or sand sculpture above ice sculpture?
See, the ice sculpture in my
And
mind
I'll
is
throw watermelon
fancy.
sculpture in there as well. Fruit sculpture.
Like a edible arrangement.
Yes.
Yeah. It
Like,
it's
where
fancier.
you're on a cruise ship, and then you got one of those guys that lives in, can only be described as slave quarters underneath the boat while we're upstairs on the Lido deck partying. They're in like a tiny 3-foot by 3-foot like closet where they stay.
Yeah.
Those guys have to come up on the Lido deck and then carve a watermelon into like the Jolly Roger.
yeah.
It's
And
crazy.
you're like, man, that takes a lot of skill.
But I'm like, I'll push it over drunkenly onto the deck and smash it.
And no one cares. They all have diarrhea. Let's do a first email.
That's a fact. It's hard to appreciate a carved piece of fruit when you have diarrhea. Write that down.
Okay. Relationships with coworkers. Hello, all. One of the running jokes among my friends is how little I engage with my coworkers. I don't look at these people as friends or family. They're just other cogs and gears that are a part of the same machine, and we're all here out of necessity and not by choice. Have I read this one?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I know. I wrote it, so I mean.
Well, that can't be true. Anytime there's a group outing or team building event, I do everything in my power to get out of it. I do my best not to share anything personal with them or ask about their personal lives. If it comes up, I'll offer some societal pleasantries and then go on about my day. As an example, nobody at my previous job knew I was getting married until I declined a staff meeting invitation that fell on my wedding day 2 weeks later. I also never said a word about my birthday to avoid any sort of singing, cake, or surprise office decorations. Am I the weird one for drawing a hard line between my professional and personal life? It's not that I don't like these people. I just want to do my job and get away from them as fast as possible.
See, I think that some people.
I like this person.
I like him too, and I know Ryan, you're a
This
good
is
man.
exactly how I lived my life when I worked at every other job, though.
But jobs and careers are different. Do you think you're more apt to go all in on a little more relationship juice if you're in what you consider a career?
No.
See, I would because you're gonna do things that you're gonna play that you're gonna dance, right?
Yes.
Like to me, if you're in a career and you want to navigate the career correctly, there are certain pleasantries and things that you would normally do. Like I'm not gonna do that for a job, but I would do that for a career. Like I did it at Real Radio. There are plenty of people up there that I fucking hate that I worked with. And there are plenty of people up there that I think are bad people that I worked with. There are plenty of people that I don't really know their last name that I worked with. But I was pleasant and played the game with all of them to hopefully make myself a better and no headaches, just make yourself a good employee and work your way up. That's what I was doing there, right?
I was always a great employee. I just never felt the need to have personal relationships with coworkers or bosses.
But that's a lesson that I learned, and I was immediately disheartened and mad that I realized, oh, this is the reality of it. Because when I was trying to ingrain myself into logic and just living my life like a robot early on as a 20-year-old, and I was working for Clear Channel, I remember just being like, all right, well, here's the logic of it. Here's how much money I make. Here's how many commercials I have. And this is how much, this is what I add to the show money-wise and this content-wise. Or this, I'm looking at all like math and, And then I remember going in for my first evaluation where I knew I was going to get at least some sort of raise, right? Because time had come and I thought I earned it or whatever. And then it was Catherine Brown at the time. She was I knew I was getting some sort of raise, right? Now, what I expected was way more than what they gave me. So I immediately was like, she's like, oh, I got some good news. We moved some bunch around it. And I'm going to give you this raise, whatever, and blah, blah, blah. And I didn't react how she wanted me to react. And then I reacted kind of like a dickhead, like a math dickhead, where I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense because I got this many commercials. I should be making X amount more.
Yeah, they don't like that either.
And then, that's just you sticking up for yourself. They don't like that.
Yes, no, but then emotion got into it. And then it dawned on me, I was like, I'm not working with robots here. I'm working with humans who have emotion. And then she immediately, I could tell, got mad that I didn't react the way she thought I was
going to
react.
You should appreciate the 2 pennies I'm giving you.
She didn't say it like that. No, I saw her. She changed from happy down to business, and then I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh,
because it's not cut and dry.
It's all humans. Humans run companies.
Yes.
So you have to sometimes you have to fucking lie and have emotion.
Dance a little bit.
You gotta play into it, act like you gotta, use your emotion too, because you're dealing with emotion as well as the math and the reality.
Well, I understand the emotion part more than I do the math part. So whenever I would go in there to do anything raise wise, I would just come in straight heat. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm
not raise wise. I mean, just like coworkers in general. You're chumming it up with them. You're hanging out with them. Like,
no.
That's what I'm saying.
Here I am. I hung out with you Saturday night.
This is a different kind of job, though. This isn't the same as a regular 9 to 5.
But I haven't had a regular 9 to 5 though. That's the fucked up part for me. Is that for me, I have soccer linesman. That was my first job. I have switchboard operator for Deland, and then I had I basically got a job at Real Radio, right? Or an internship.
Yeah.
And there is luck involved in that. And then I've had weird jobs ever since.
Yeah. And I think there's managers, and going back into corporations or regular jobs where the manager has the discretion or the opinion to give you that raise or to whatever to move you up in the company, and that shit is subjective. And a lot of times it's who they like the most.
Yes, 100%.
And then if
favorites.
if it's who they like the most, it's not based on your actual
performance.
Oh, man.
Then because a lot of it works like that. So you have to sometimes be that person that likes to hang out with, because if you're the person that doesn't want to ever tell anybody anything and do your job, go home, that manager may look at you like,
This is from Ghost. This is exactly what I did when I got, when I was getting married at work. I just asked for the 2 weeks off work because I went right to my honeymoon after. I didn't tell him shit. And when I got back, my manager asked me, and they're like, oh my God, you got married? I'm like, yeah. How come we didn't know that? You don't know anything about me. Stop pretending like you care. You don't.
Yeah.
Well, I think naturally people want to have
Be
their-
fake.
or like they want you to
I
like
think
them.
you're looking at that, and I don't mean disrespect with that, but I think you're looking at it maybe with negative glasses, right? Like, I think people are more apt to be positive. Like, if I ask things around here, I don't think they're doing it to be fake. Like, if they're like, oh my God, we didn't know, we would have done something
See, I'll
for you.
disagree with you because I worked with these people.
No, I understand
I,
that. but-
I know who these people were.
No, I get it. I'm just saying. I think most people, though, when they do that, I can't speak for this person. I mean, if you know them, I mean, obviously you.
I spent 5 years working there.
Then
and it was like,
but then don't you have
in
to
tight
flip
quarters.
it? Then don't you have to flip it? I'm trying to be devil's advocate. If you spent 5 years with this person and you know them, they've spent 5 years with you. They think they know you.
I was just a number to them.
Well, why did?
In a team of 30 people.
But my point is, they might not say that. You see what I'm saying? Like you're
They'd
saying,
be lying.
but you can't.
They
speak
knew
for
nothing
them.
about me.
I say I don't think it works like that. I don't.
Well, it's probably you didn't tell them anything.
Yeah, I mean, like if there's
But why
this
would
word-
I?
Yeah, I think it's just most people like
It's the same thing as like when you worked at
they-
Home Depot or whatever, and they want to do like these team meetings and these huddles. It's the same shit. It's all fake bullshit.
It doesn't have to
but
be.
my
though, and I-
coworkers.
my point is to
I
everybody,
did,
it's
you
not.
know, you know what I did?
Because
hang
I
out-
was one of those guys that
You were a team player.
Yeah, I was a team player, and it would hurt me if I were in that, because I think I would be lumped in with these people you're talking about, and you'd be like, you don't know anything about me, and I'd be like, I think I do. And I'd have my feelings hurt. You know, I'd be like, I was trying.
Yeah.
You know, and because I think when you spray with a shotgun, you're going to get some innocent people in there that may. I think there's at least one person that is genuine, because I kind of go with what you say all the time. And this is a weird thing for Tom to say, but Tom is a very positive person when it comes to people. He's like, most people are just fucking cool. For the most part.
Yeah, and they hate their jobs too, and they're the same. You know, they're complaining about that shit too. It's like everybody, you know, and
But
every
yes,
company's different.
You're
so
going to
who
get
the
a
hell
vibe
knows,
for
yeah.
your managers and the people you know. In your specific instance, of course, you know more than anybody else would. But I have a tendency to think, man, I've never been that person. Maybe I'm just not that jaded. But if I worked at a
I didn't
company,
exactly work for great places.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
that's I guess it is also subjective to where you work, right?
Well, and what's shitty is that, like, how about this one? I'll throw a weird one at you, since this is what we're talking about. It's kind of cool.
But I also, I'm sorry,
no,
before you
go ahead,
finish,
go ahead,
I
go
also
ahead.
am like, depending on your job, for sure. But if you work a shitty, like, cubicle job, you want to leave that shit there. You don't want to, like, hang out. I mean, I'm sure there is the exception where you'll find someone that's cool that works in your department or whatever. I'm sure that happens. But a lot of times it's like, this is work. I want to keep work, and home.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know
no,
what I'm saying?
and I get that. And when you've been burned before, it sets your precedent, right? Like, I can 100% go in with what you're saying on that, because like, if other people have done that to me before and that's what I know, then I'm not going to probably let that happen again. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to let myself out there again. Why would I want to get hurt? Let's see. Let's go with the chat room here, see what they're saying. To go back to it, if here's the one I wanted to tell you that's so weird. I'm working, right? And I'm getting married, and some of the people that I work with very intimately, and I hate them more than any people in the, like, they're my number one hate, right?
Yeah.
But I still have to go through the motion of inviting them.
That's nuts to me.
Because if I don't, it it could potentially
nuts.
make me a bullseye, and I don't want the bullseye anymore.
Isn't that terrible, though, that you
Oh,
have
yeah.
to feel that way?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
well,
It's
that's
like
just
this
politics.
And that
But
was
that
just
sucks.
show
Yeah.
politics and bullshit. Yeah, it was
That-
terrible.
That goes into what I'm saying. We're not dealing with robots. We're dealing with humans.
Yeah.
And when humans have emotion, then you got to play politics. And
Right, so
and-
being fake.
yeah.
So there is a part of that. That's all I'm
Oh, no,
saying.
no,
That's
there
all I'm
is-
saying.
Oh,
Is like
yeah.
sometimes you have to fake even liking somebody that you work with to not quote unquote disrupt like
Every
Yeah.
the
day.
workflow. And it's just like, why are we all doing this? Can't we all just do our jobs and go home?
They're doing it because the human has the decision of
Yes.
how good of a job you're doing, and that's based on emotion.
Well, and
some
that's
of
where
it.
that's where I get kind of like my positioning on career versus job. You know, this was a career for me. This is a job that I'd done in upwards of 15 years. This is something where I had like hundreds of thousands of dollars tied to it, and all of my benefits and everything tied to it. This wasn't just, and this isn't to say that a job is not important. It is. But I do believe that a job is different than a career. Like, I had equity in this company. I had stock options. I mean, like, this was my nut. This is where I was going.
A job, you you couldn't care less
if I'm
about
working
it.
as
Like,
a
who gives
toll booth
fuck,
operator, and
you don't want to move up. You don't want to,
Well, if I'm working there, and then I want to, I don't have to invite those motherfuckers to my marriage. They don't know. I don't work with you know what I mean? Like, but
That's what I'm
there's no
saying.
politics.
no, but
in that.
but it's not like that in a career. It's not that cut and dry because. In my instance, you don't invite 3 major people that are important to you when contract negotiations come up. I mean, that's a reality. That's a real thing.
Yeah.
You
playing
want-
politics.
Yeah, playing politics is an actual thing. And if you live your life not playing it, I root for you. And I say good luck and go get them. But I don't think it's going to pan out pretty well.
Depending on your job,
And the people you're operating with.
Yeah. Because, you was playing the fucking game,
Let's see what.
And there are people that
saying
are
here.
real good. If you, if anybody out there, and I think a lot of people haven't met politicians, especially like career politicians, they are.
Listen, hold on.
weird.
Now look, I know we make jokes that I'm fucking team old bitch or whatever, but like saying like Daniel cares about people, I care about people, but people that I care about. I'm not going to care about someone I work with just because I work and see them every day.
No, I think what they're
Yeah,
saying is that they're saying that it's impossible for you to judge or say without a shadow of a doubt how somebody cares for you. So like it's an impossibility. Like I can't speak for your feelings. You know what I mean? So when you're saying they're being fake, you're giving a definitive, and you can't do that because you're not in their brain. You don't fully know them, and they're saying that. I get that in this trouble with Tom all the time. Tom will speak in a definitive, and I'll be like, you don't know that. And then he'll be like, yeah, but it's 99.9. And I'll be like, yeah, but there's still that 0.1%. You see what I'm saying? Like, maybe I'm making it worse. I don't know.
No.
It's
I just look at that 0.1 of like 0.
Yeah, it's like when I do that all the time with Andrea, too. I'll be like, well, it's this. And she'll be like, no, you're putting words in my mouth. I think that's what the chat room's trying to say. I don't think anybody thinks you don't care for people. It's just maybe they're misunderstanding that.
I think that.
Good.
I know. That's why we enjoy our silence. And the office.
Matt has a good one. He says, Dan's default is to care. Sam's default is to not care.
That's not true, though. That is not true.
Well, but like, I can kind of see what he's saying. It's like, in this, okay, the first thing out of your mouth, though, was, it's all fake. How do you...
At the jobs that I worked, that I worked in for years...
Okay.
You get to know
Sure.
the situation and the vibe. And like Tom said, there are people that have their favorites and whatever. And then maybe it's not because I'm being chummy. But if I already see that you're a shitty person, I don't want to be friends with you.
No,
I
get that.
I will not
Yeah.
share personal information with me. We're not going to be buddies.
No, I get that.
So then it's like when it's projected to me like they give a shit, I know that that's fake because they know nothing about me.
Like,
that's all I'm saying.
I'll give you a weird
You can't-
conundrum. I'll give you a
You
weird
can't
one.
like someone if you don't know anything about
I'll
them.
give you a weird one that has nothing to do with like. I absolutely dislike a host that I used to work for. He wrote me and told me how sorry he was that my mother passed away. That wasn't fake. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, even though I know that I hate him, even though I don't want to be friends with him and everything, I do think that the act, I think that's maybe
That
what people are
specific
kind of
texture.
saying is like, they're kind of looking at it from the standpoint of, you don't really know, because even though that person could be the biggest shitbag in the world, their feelings this particular time might be positive. I think this is also something you can never fully argue because you're arguing about something that is in
yeah.
somebody's brain.
I always revert to everything is way more complicated than we want to make it. We want to simplify things in all aspects of life because it's easier for us.
Yeah.
But the reality is it's complicated. Everything is complicated.
Yep.
So even there is no pure, well, really, I mean, unless you're an insane psychopath to the point where it's like, you know, some insane mental illness, very little purely motivated by evil people in the world, right? And there's shitbags, but even shitbags, they can be good people and think good and can want good for other people. You know what I'm saying? But
Are you calling me a shitbag?
No. But like I've seen like
It's one of my
people
favorite
that
compound words of all time.
People that
and
I-
Andrea uses mean old bitch around the house all the time.
people that I, just like Daniel, like I dislike, right? And that I never want to talk to or have any sort of relationship with again. I could care less about
Right.
them, right? And I know, and they've proven themselves to me to be a shitbag, right? I still know, though, that they care about people and try to do good things when, now, maybe it's they pick and choose when they want to or whatever,
Right,
but
right.
there's good in them. You know, they love people. They've done good things. They've done good acts.
Yeah.
They've done totally selfless acts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's well said. That makes sense to me.
Because, fucking the worst, I would venture to guess that Hitler probably had done some fucking good charity.
Anytime you watch Dateline, it's like the killer. They're like, "It's the nicest guy I knew." Get the shirt off your back, and you're like, "He killed people."
Yeah. I just want. I've been watching a lot of killing.
Yeah,
shit lately.
I'm getting Tom.
It's
the
my wife.
conspiracies,
My
true
wife.
crime. Oh my god,
She's trying to get ways to kill you.
She watched some shit about the Green River Killer,
Yeah.
and then
that's a good one.
last night she watched some shit about Eileen Warnos.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that shit happened in Florida. Like, right here in
You
Florida.
want a fun
I have no
fact, and
idea.
I think it might be connected.
Talking about
Green
Ocala.
River. Green River was the original band before Pearl Jam that Jeff Ament and the drummer Dave Aberziz, the original drummer that played on the 10 album. Well, actually, he didn't play on the 10 album. He played on Versus, which is the one with the sheep on the front.
I'm not a.
Well, if you're a Pearl Jam
know.
guy, I'm
I don't know
pretty
the
sure
references.
that band's name was Green River, named after same Green River, which is a weird fun fact.
And so when they caught the Green River Killer, the guy was like telling the cops, like, I thought I was doing you guys a favor, like cleaning up the streets with these prostitutes.
Right.
You're like,
What?
Yeah.
Like, he's totally insane. And
a
this
lot
guy's,
of serial
you know,
killers
but it's
that
like,
go after marginalized communities think that.
and he's justifying his, shit like that. But it's
cold.
like, you look at his, who knows, because it's totally insane. But his motivations are like what he was thinking he was actually doing a good job or whatever. Or like he is like, oh, who cares? I thought you guys would like this or whatever the fuck.
I'm cleaning up the streets.
Or it's the same type of guy that would like put $1 in the fucking thing was he walked out the supermarket for the United Way or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like it's complicated. Like
it is
even
complicated.
the worst humans
But I love
do
talking
good
about
things.
this kind of shit because I think this is the kind of shit that eventually will help me understand why I dislike Nightmare Before Christmas. No, I'm serious. I think that discussing these sort of things in a cool, like that was cool that we're able to discuss that.
But it's also, that's the thing. Everybody doesn't have to fucking like everything.
No.
You know what I mean? Like,
that is true.
Yeah.
there's tons of shit you guys like that I don't like.
And I think social
I'm
media,
not going to get
though-
offended if you don't like something I like.
No, you're pretty hard. This place is pretty hard to get people to like, like that kind of thing. Let's try this one because it sort of ties in. People were kind of aligning you not being a chirper to this type of thinking, and I was like, yeah, that kind of.
Yeah, introverted in nature.
I could totally see that.
So yeah, I'm not chit chatting with people. And
No.
then but I'm also an observer, right? So if I'm hearing you chirping to each other and you're being shitty people, then I'm like, okay, noted. I won't be your friend.
Was I being a? No, you weren't talking about.
No, just people I used to work with.
At first, I thought you heard the conversation Tom and I were having outside. It was horribly racist. It wasn't.
Hey, Tom and Dan and Sam. Chirping is actually a hockey term for talking shit. And it's used by hockey players all the time, and it is called chirping.
I can confirm this as I am a new baseball and hockey man. I've been watching hockey, and they will talk about
They say in the NFL.
Yeah,
Like, oh, this
it is a
person-
sportsy thing.
This corner's chirping at this wide receiver nonstop to try to get him angry, and then he finally punches him or whatever. They'll
used
say
it
chirping
in-
all the time.
They used it in baseball too. Andrea heard it because they were talking about people in the dugout, like yelling, and like they're oh, look at it, he's over there chirping, and chirping about something. It's funny that is a sports terminology. Did you want to do emails too, or do you want to rock it through voicemails? Your choice.
Let's do another voicemail. Don't do an email.
All right, let's try this one.
What's up, Tom and Dan? I was listening to the show and Seth's news talking about the influencer taking a selfie in front of the casket, and made me think of a really super awkward funeral story I have. So my wife, I met her when we were really young. We've been together for almost 30 years. And when I first met her, soon after, her dad passed away. I never met her dad alive, and she wanted me to go to the funeral. So I'm at the funeral with her
It's not too
and
late.
her sister, and it's an open casket, and
He loves you. Oh my God, this is.
saw their dad, and he's covered in makeup, and I guess he was a real man, and they didn't think he would want to be be buried covered in makeup. So
that?
before the funeral, the two of them got up in there and wiped all the makeup off.
Oh!
And
He wiped
they
his
put that
nose
there
off.
for a reason. He was a solid green, and it freaked me out. And they continued to have an open casket funeral for her green father, which was disturbing.
Green River, Green
Anyway,
Father, Bingo Bango.
Latest
Oh, he's being killed. Dead.
People, I don't know.
Open casket again.
We don't need it.
Thank you, Sam. We don't. In fact, there were some people that were like, "It's for closure," and you're saying that sort of thing. I think we can all
Well, then
agree
what
here
if,
now.
if you need it, then you go up, you take a peek, you put it back
They do
down.
that.
Do
They do that for the family.
I've never seen that.
They asked me before any funeral I've had, they're like, "Would you like some time alone with your mother? Would you like some time alone with your father?" And I say, "No, I don't. I would not."
Yeah.
That's what I
I
whisper
don't,
back.
yeah.
I'm like, "No, I absolutely would not. I'm insulted that you would ask that I want to be in there with like there's nothing in there. It's just a bag of bones and liquid now."
It is. They do go way too heavy on the makeup. It seems, right?
They have to.
I mean,
Well,
I get it, but
it's
like,
real green.
but like my
It's
great
real
grandmother
green.
was like 80 years old, and she had
Yeah.
like bright blue eyeshadow and bright
Oh
red.
yeah,
And it's like,
you
come
can
on.
tone that down. You can tell
It's like
them to
clown
tone that
makeup.
down. Yeah.
I think that's up to the
Yeah.
the mortician's
Tone it down.
assistant or
Jesus.
whatever.
My
Like,
dad,
Old
my
Nemo.
dad went
there's
for
someone that I mean, there's jobs where you do makeup for
Yeah.
corpses.
Yeah, my dad took his
Regular makeup
shirt off
artist.
and they did the Finn Balor where they did full airbrush on his chest. But he was so fat that it was just way more disgusting. He looked like Boner Garage from Daytona Beach. Bless her heart.
dead.
Yeah, I was sitting in the chair at Liberty Barber, and one of the old men getting cut was like, I heard old Boner Garage passed away.
It's a weird thing to
Yeah,
bring
it
up
was
while
a
you're getting
weird thing to
haircut.
bring up. Then
Let's do an email.
All right. Sam's got good ones, too, because people have been on point with their
All
typings.
right. Hey, gang. I used to work for a small organic grocery store in Vermont, similar to Whole Foods. Typically, the people that really know about produce are the purchaser, manager, and receiver. Most stockers learn about produce from managers on the job. Things you need to know mostly center on organic definition and where produce comes from. The later changes every week. The buyers order from a distributor, and the distributor is the one that purchases directly from the farms.
Boring.
Always wash your produce, no matter if it's organic or not. Organic just means that they use pesticides. Who doesn't?
Never wash my produce.
I
never
don't.
wash beef. If any meat I buy, I don't rinse it. I just throw it in the pan. I'm like, I'll burn it off.
I don't even wash my feet.
No.
What happened to your toe band-aid that was on yesterday?
No,
I took it off.
I found it in my salad. I don't know why you were making a salad with your feet, but it was delicious.
Yeah.
Cow manure
poppy
is
seed.
still spread on everything, and if you eat mushrooms, it's literally grown in it.
I don't wash my produce. I do not wash any meats whatsoever.
I've never washed meat.
I only wash my hands if I touch my genitals.
I never
or
heard about
wipe
washing
my butt.
meat until I was an adult, and I was like, why am I washing meat?
I don't wash my meat.
My mom never did, so
what
I
means
just...
are you
Yeah.
supposed to wash?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I
Some
don't-
people
You're
wash
supposed-
chicken.
No, I don't think you wash chicken. You pat it dry.
Yes.
Because if you're washing it, you're splashing bacteria. This is something I've lodged in my brain from Juan. Juan confirmed that I lodged that in my brain. I believe Juan told me you don't wash anything. You just pat it dry. I think I'm right on that.
Anything that you're gonna cook, you cook anything off that would wash off, right? I mean,
That's what I would
any
think.
bacteria. Or
But
whatever
I don't
that you're
know. I mean, I
cooking it
haven't
off.
died yet.
So it's like, maybe you wash a fresh apple or some shit that you eat.
No,
and
I don't
like,
wash any. I'm telling
the
you, I don't
stuff
wash
you
produce.
cook is fine. You know.
Like I figure, like everybody says, wash your produce. I can't find a scenario in my head, and maybe I'm 100% wrong. I never had a problem with being wrong. I can't find a scenario where I bite an apple that I didn't wash, where I'm like, cancer, wah, or like, they got the COVID, whatever. What is that gonna do? It's nothing, right?
They're just saying that the insecticides they use. I guess.
mean, eventually it's gonna give us cancer.
Ingested along. Yeah, but everything will eventually give us
Exactly.
cancer. Also, it's like, well, how careful am I being? I'm drinking. Oh, it's like I'm like eating.
Well, like people go, wash that apple. You gotta wash the apple. Well, I just did this under my nose. I just did this across my mouth. I just wiped my
Yeah, but
eye.
that's not chemicals.
But isn't it the same? Aren't I putting germs or whatever in there?
Sure, but it's not like the pesticides.
Okay.
Also,
all right,
I'm like-
all right,
I mean,
all
that's
right.
what they're
Hold
focused
on, you're
on.
helping me. Thank you.
I'm also doing the logic of the pesticides are spraying on edible, like fruits and vegetables are edible.
They are
Because-
FDA approved, yeah.
Yeah, like there's been some scientific testing to make sure that you could eat them without any damage. So I'm like, it's good enough for me. Right?
Right.
Like, they wouldn't be spraying straight poison. I imagine there'll be some tweet about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, someone would be like,
I feel like there are, but
right? What am I saying? Like, if it was like, I've eaten this apple and it's given me, like, poisoned me.
I thought you were going to say give me gonorrhea.
or something.
What the hell?
Like, someone would say, hey, this company, these farmers are spraying poison.
Spraying gonorrhea on the apples.
And it's poisoning a lot of people, like, and then the government would change that. It's fine.
Eddie says, rinse your kale, cilantro, leeks to get the sand out. There you go. That's all you need to do.
Concrete Mike rinses all his meat.
Yeah,
Sand.
he's making a dick joke.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Concrete Mike
Mike's-
will eat anything.
Yeah,
He'll eat your
Nice.
butthole.
Yeah, he will literally eat
Whoa.
your butthole. Mike, would you drive over here and eat Sam's butthole? I bet you would.
Oh, yeah, he would.
Yeah, he's already driving. It's not a real offer. So get out of your car.
Yep.
I got this one queued up. Remember the old AirPods debacle that we had a while back?
Oh, about the button. that
Hey
turns
guys,
it on?
I'm listening to the ACT episode Turd Jock from November 2nd, and you're talking about the guy
Hold
who
on a
lost his
second. I got a
AirPods.
lot of heat on that one. I named it Turd Jock, and people were like, that's too mean. Why are you mean? I'm like, what do you mean? I thought you guys hated the bit.
Oh, yeah,
I was
yeah.
leaning in, and people were like, too far, Daniel. How dare you name it Turd Jock? I'm like, it's lame.
It's Pro. I don't know why the guy had to go through all that trouble. All you had to do is set the setting where nobody else can pair him to their device. And if you had contact with the guy, just tell him, okay, you can't use him anymore. If you keep him, you can't pair him to your phone because I locked him. And the guy will bring him back or throw him away. And then you can go find him later. It's a pretty simple solution. That's why they made it that way, so that if someone steals them, you can lock them and they can't pair them to any other device. Just thought I'd mention it. See you. Bye.
Okay, I'm
Can
an
you
Apple
do that
guy.
after they steal them?
I guess I'm an Apple guy. Didn't know that. Been too busy to even pay attention to all the features. I didn't know you could lock it and not have it paired to another device. I can't see a scenario where, okay, you're the guy, right? And I found your AirPods.
Yeah.
You ask me politely to give them back. I say, fuck off. I'm not giving them back.
Yeah.
Then you lock them, so I can't pair them with my phone. I had them paired with my phone, though, and I was using them and enjoying them. I am so mad now that you locked me out of them that I take a hammer and I smash the shit out of them.
You're not losing anything.
Yeah, I'm not losing anything.
100%.
So and then I smash them and then I scatter them on your yard.
Yeah, but at least you're not using them, so you're not enjoying the
Right.
thing
Fair
you
enough.
stole from me.
Fair
so
enough,
it's
but
like,
you're not getting
feel
them back.
like-
You're not getting them back. I'm smashing the shit out of them.
oh,
You're not getting them
yeah,
back.
No, he'll never give them back. You'll throw them in the ocean or whatever. You
I
know
feel
what
like
I'm
there's
saying?
a hack about that, right? There's got to be a way to hack that so you can still unlock it.
I'm going
just like
with-
they do with other phones.
Yep, I'm going with Sam on this. There's got to be a way around it.
It may be really hard.
Like jailbreak it or whatever the hell.
Yeah, but I think it's like the.
We need a pure Apple. I'm not an Apple purist. I know I get accused of that all the time, but I'm not. I'm as Microsoft or Android as anybody else because I fucking love my Xbox so much, and I wish I had an Android phone because apparently I could play Xbox on my phone, which would like take me away from my family. But my point being, we need a real Apple fanboy in here to give us all the deets on that because I don't know it.
I'm just gonna venture to guess that the person that's shitty enough to take your Apple AirPods and steal them, your delivery driver guy that we talked about.
I think we got that wrong.
No.
I went back and reread that thread, and I don't think it was a delivery guy that stole them.
Oh, it wasn't?
I don't think so.
Uh-oh.
But whoever stole them is not going to go, they're not going to figure out how to hack them. You know what I'm saying? Like, they
but they
don't
might know a guy.
Ah,
Everybody
yeah.
knows a guy
That's
that
true.
takes shit to pawn shops.
I guess if you're in that criminal underworld, although if,
That's my side hustle.
can you easily, like if someone found my phone and,
Oh, they get into everything in your phone.
Yeah, I get into your phone. I already
They
know
can hack the
I get
password?
right in there.
Yeah,
First thing I type in is lady. I go to your photos. I type in women, and I just see it, all the pictures because I'm looking for your wife. You know how to do it. You type in like when I need a puppy picture, I just go to my phone and type in dogs, and then all my pee-pee dogs pop up. I can look at Caesar. Oh, look at Maggie.
In your pictures?
Yeah, go in there and type woman, or go in there and type sunglasses. It'll pull up every picture with you wearing sunglasses. Now that Apple trick I know, because I can find titties so fast on anybody's phone. Woman, and then you go woman, and you scroll. You're looking for nipples. I got one. Jag off.
Do the phone just categorizes them itself?
Based on what it sees in the photo.
It's based on some sort of AI or
Yeah.
whatever? Like, oh, that's
It's kind of
interesting.
like click every picture that has a stoplight in it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, very much like a
Yeah.
CAPTCHA or one of those weird things. Yeah, like those.
So it could tell if it's a woman and then show you all the pictures of a woman.
You want to know
or
how
a
I figured
dog
that
or
out?
whatever.
It's kind of sad. I wanted to look at this one picture of my dad wearing my Ray-Ban, like my Ray-Ban Wayfarers.
Yeah.
And it just typed in sunglasses. And then it popped right up. And I was like, damn, that's good.
Then anybody with sunglasses
Pops
in your
up.
saved pictures
Yeah.
will pop up. That's interesting.
It's pretty cool. I use it for kid. You can use it for kid. Like if you took a picture of your daughter, my daughter can't find it, and I know it's relatively recent, but there's a lot of other files or things in front of it, I'll just say kid, and it'll like pop up the newest ones. Very useful tip. There you go. Another email or
Yep.
where were we? Email or voicemail?
An email.
Email. I am listening to an OG show from a few years ago, and you said you have an email and all social media sources at the time saved for Maisie, and you said you sent an email to the email account you set up for her every day. I'm curious if 1, that's true, and 2, if you are still doing it, or how long you do it and how often. Okay, thanks, bye. Samantha's the good one.
The email address thing, that was a joke. I do not email my daughter.
People do that, though.
She has her own. Yeah, we just set it up last night. This is the orb pulling again. The fact that
No,
you
I'm
read
saying,
that email.
like, they will email their kid like every day or each week since they're born and give them like updates of their life or
Oh, yeah.
whatever.
Crystal started that, then too lazy to finish. the boys will have, like, from the year. Well, Tommy will have, like, the
Too
one.
long.
He'll have
Didn't read.
more
He'll
because
have,
he
like,
cared
1
more
to
when the
3.
first
Yeah,
kid's
yeah.
born.
And then Max has, like, 8 months, and then that's it. And then no email. Like, they'll go back and be like, I'll read my emails. It'll be all about from the year 1.
She'll never
to
remember
two.
the passwords of those emails.
We didn't do
In 18
it.
years.
Well, she may. Like,
Yeah,
then she
she'll-
asked me to
she
do it.
has
I
it
think I
saved.
did wrote 1 email to Tommy.
What did
I
it
should
say?
find it. I should find
Oh, we gotta read it.
Check out these titties. Here's the old Paris Hilton video way before your time.
A night in Paris.
it.
Send him the Paris Hilton
She just got
video.
married.
Oh, yeah.
Who's porking?
Yeah. Real quick, we're talking about the, oh, damn it. My brain's all over the place
The
today.
emails.
Yes, about the emails. That was a joke. I do not email them. But last night, in an attempt to make Maisie's iPad her own, Andrea finally linked her Apple ID to it. So she has her own. So it's like her own thing now. So now she can use her Apple ID to message me and her mom through her iPad. So if she goes to a friend's house, or she can email us, you know what I mean? Like, or message us. It's pretty cool. I wasn't sure how I felt about it, but I do find it interesting that we're talking about this. And last night it was the first time since we've had a child that we linked it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've never used that Apple ID. Yes, we did snag it early on because you want to kind of lock down that stuff. I know Tiffany was really good about that. Her son has a very unique name, Crixus. Mm-hmm. So she locked down everything early on because he's going to want it, you know, and
That's interesting that people have to think about that now when they have kids.
I thought about it with Maze only because her name is not super unique. You know, in England, Maisie, you might as well be Jennifer. But so we locked it down just for her, for I guess middle school and high school aspect. Not everything. We didn't go as far as like Instagrams or any of that. We just literally got the Apple ID for her. So
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, it's inevitable. Your kid is gonna, get some sort of device that they can
but when they're a
message
teen, they're
you.
gonna want to have their own username. They're not gonna want to go by their name. It's gonna be like sick bitch 87.
Yeah, that's why I didn't even grab it. I'm not even grabbing it. You can make your own Instagram name with whatever the fuck you want it to be. Hopefully it'll be appropriate.
I feel like my sons are gonna be late to the game with everything
Oh,
because
yeah.
I'm late to
They're
the
doomed.
game. Yeah. So
Might not be a bad
But
thing.
they'll have friends that'll.
Yeah, they'll get drug along.
No, I know. Oh yeah.
And they're already there. So I mean, if they're all about the Minecraft, it's not like they're not missing too much. You know, I mean,
Yeah. And they know how to text and everything, but they've never expressed any interest into texting me or Crystal or communicating with me at all. Or, my niece does sometimes, and it freaked me out when she started doing it, like
Yeah, it's
sending me
weird.
Facebook messages or whatever. I'm like, what? Because
Yeah.
I just view her as a baby still, but she's freaking 9 years old, so
Yeah.
she knows how to message. And then I feel weird. I'm like messaging her back. I'm like, this is odd, you're messaging
Yeah.
a baby.
Yeah.
It is weird.
But it's not really a baby anymore, so like,
Yeah.
and then I do what I do to everybody, and I ghost, I just never message back, and then I'm like, I wonder if she thinks
Uncle Tom doesn't love me.
yeah. But then I'm teaching her that Uncle Tom does this. This is how I operate. I feel like if I started messaging her back and then fall into my ways, which is normal, which is never messaging anybody back, then if
You've
I
hurt her
start
feelings.
with never messaging back, then she'll be like, oh, this is what he does.
Yeah, this is the standard.
But I did get her worried that she was going to think, because I do care about her feelings, nobody else's feelings ever. Really.
But Maisie chirps. So remember, when she sends me a message, and I ignore them, she'll send me some, can I come out of my room? It'll be like a Saturday. She has this lamp that will turn green when she's allowed to come out. And
It's like
look,
Squid Games.
she's allowed to come out. She just don't be waking up mommy is kind of the rule, right? On Saturdays. So she could come out, like go around the house, but just don't come into mommy's room. And so she'll text me. She'll be like, can I come out? And I'll just ignore it. Can I come out? And I'll ignore it. And then I'll start, because she knows I'm on my phone. It's not like she's not smart enough to know that I'm saddled to this thing all the time, right? I'm always on it. And she's like, hello? Hello? She'll do that. Hello? I know you're
Are
looking
you
like, I'm
ignoring
like,
me?
what the
It's the Tom Rhodes.
Yeah, she's doing the Tom Rhodes.
Maisie Rhodes.
And it's going to be so weird when my sons start texting me.
Yeah, it's coming, man. It's coming. I mean, it can't not come. Let's try this one. Remember when you yelled at Butler?
Which time?
Tom Van, buddy, gotta go easy on Butler. I wish there was some way to get a metric of how many of your listeners have screamed to their horse at their radios as you say definites and speak definites to, well, it's never happened to me, so it can't ever have happened. Or it never happened to my Miami friends. No, that didn't happen.
Sir.
You are the king of definites. And just because it doesn't annoy the people around you, maybe Sam, boy, we love you, but it aggravates the shit out of the rest of us, buddy. With that said, Butler, calm the fuck down.
I like
a little bit of everybody.
I understand, but I'm not your employee.
He's the boss.
Right?
He's the boss, so he gets to yell at you even for the same things that he does.
You yell down.
Yeah, you punch down like Dave Chappelle.
It's not punching.
always
It's
punch
yelling.
down.
It's just yelling. Let's try this one because that one's just silly.
Hey, what's up, Tom and Dan? I'm listening to the episode where you were talking about divining rods. And one thing that nobody pointed out is that, these people have been on the job for years. Let's say you've been on the job for 10, 15, 20 years, and you understand all the different city and county and state regulations, and you've been on 1,000 different job sites. If I handed that guy one of those pink flags, he could probably just walk out there blindfolded and put it exactly where the wire's supposed to be because he knows from experience. He's using that divining rod as a crutch.
Yes.
He knows where that stuff is supposed to be because he has experience and understanding of the job. So, he's putting too much faith in the little piece of metal and not enough faith in him.
You know what example I used to my wife to describe this?
Out,
I described it as, it's no different than when you get somebody on this show, The Masked Singer, and people are like, well, I didn't know you could sing that well. You're like, and the person's like, we've never seen you sing that well. When they're completely enclosed and comfortable within that space, in that costume and perform, they can do what they're comfortable, right? So they're able to achieve, they're able to achieve a level of talent that they're not comfortable of doing anywhere else. They're able to like open themselves up. They're a little more, it's all about the comfort, right? In some ways, this is about just your comfort level. It's like when I have these things in my hand, I'm able to get comfortable. And of course, I'm able to access the amount of knowledge that my brain has gathered because I'm smart, relatively smart cat.
It's the pine tar on the baseball helmet. It's all the superstitious stuff that baseball players do where they have results that they could show you. They're like, here's my batting average.
It's rituals. These are rituals.
Yeah, here's my batting average with the pine tar helmet that I've never washed, and here it is, and here's without it,
and
right?
you're not going to be able to debate it.
And then you're like, well, but it has nothing to do with the magic helmet. It has something to do with obviously their own brain And that's the same shit with the dowsing rods. They're using their brain and their experience to find out where, and that's why they're convinced it works. It's just like this gentleman said, the divining rods, the fucking sticks, the 2 metal sticks, they're using as a crutch to basically. And that's what we were talking about with Kosha. It's like, and that's why
it's like getting right.
I was like, why didn't
I get my sticks to get right?
Everybody that like the people that are using these things that are saying, oh, he's wrong, but didn't they hear the part where it's like, it's you. It's your brain that's finding the pipes and finding the shit in the wall. Yeah, it's your experience, and the wires that you're holding aren't doing nothing. It's your brain that's telling you where it is. That's why you think it works, because it is more accurate than it should be. And that's why you're 100% convinced that they do something, because you're like, this works 75% of the time.
Yeah.
Your brain's working 75% of the time.
Be happy. Pat yourself
on
the back for being good at your surveying job. You got another email?
Yeah. Awesome. This says, on the subject of how hormones affect sex drive. Hey y'all, I was listening to an ACT and I'd like to clarify something to Tom. When, for example, a trans woman starts HRT, there's a period of time in the beginning when testosterone levels are really low, but estrogen levels haven't stabilized yet. At least in my experience, my sex drive was non-existent during that time. However, once my estrogen levels got up to where they're supposed to be, I regained a pretty healthy sex drive, but it's quite different from the typical male, I want to fuck anything that moves. It's more of a, I want someone to make sweet love to me under a candlelight while romantic music is playing after a nice dinner. Having that dual perspective is kind of strange, to be honest. Whenever I think back to how I was before I transitioned, I'm disgusted at that person for being a gross porn-addicted weirdo. Anyway, if y'all ever want to have me on the show to talk about my experience as a trans woman, just let me know. I'm an open book when it comes to that stuff.
Yes.
Who's that? Cameron?
Yeah, I would like to talk to you about that, because
is Cameron fully is that a surgery deal?
I do not know.
I don't know. I mean, I guess you can be a trans woman and have surgery, and you can be a trans woman without surgery.
But then also, if you go through because honestly, for me, the chemicals matter more than the genitals.
Yes, 100%.
Because
you took it right out of my mouth.
That affects your brain.
Phrasing.
What genitals you have don't really affect your brain as much as the chemicals that.
I'd actually prefer you to have the chemicals of a lady and a penis. That's just me, though.
It's less
messy down there.
It's to whatever.
We've been talking periods this week. I'm freaked out.
It's to what everybody wants. Although they wouldn't, obviously get that.
No, that's what I'm saying.
But
I don't even want to mimic it down there.
It's interesting that Cameron has the perspective of both the chemicals, though, because a lot of people don't, obviously.
Correct.
So
that is an interesting
So she can actually speak on both.
Yeah.
I wonder if we'd have a better perspective if you're like, give me the chemicals for like a week. Let me feel this. All right.
I don't know if a week will do it.
Give me a month of estrogen.
Big
fat titties. Big fat titties.
You can, it's 100% like the testosterone and the estrogen affecting your behavior and affecting your drive and whatever your motivation, and like she said, she felt the testosterone and the want that a lot of guys feel is like, I need to fuck, I'm horny, I'm like, and that is a thing. That's what we've evolved to have.
Also, I think age too.
Yes,
because she's pretty young still, so that sex drive.
Oh yeah, no, it is
young.
And before transitioning, young male sex drive is that's pretty high.
It's off the chart.
Yeah.
And then
also, and I don't even know how to describe what I'm feeling right now, but it's like I don't think of Cameron or anyone really. I mean, I guess Cameron sticks out because you offered the information to us. I appreciate that. And yes, Tom and I and the whole show is interested in learning more, but I've never even looked at you as anything other than just you know what I mean? Like hats off to the BDMs then. I mean, you guys are awesome, the side chicks, everybody, because it never was anything. It's more like a very inclusive and happy and good, and I appreciate you offering the information to us because I'd like to get better at that sort of stuff.
What's odd to me is like the chemical aspect of it all is really that's what everybody should be focusing on, And
People are obsessed with genitals.
I know. The genital aspect is bizarre. Because
It's true.
Because
Potty.
it's like, what happens if, like, you know, you got in a horrible accident, you didn't have a male genitals? It's like, who gives a shit? It's like,
Right.
it's like, what chemicals are affecting your brain? That's what matters, probably, to whether or not you
No, I'm
are
agreeing with you
a male or
100%.
female, or at least
We can deal with the genitals thing at Fairvilla,
have male or female
elective
chemicals.
surgery, whatever you need. We can
Same-
figure that out.
But
That's no big deal.
Same thing with the argument of like the sports. Like it should be pretty easy and logical. And I've heard people say it before, but for whatever reason, there's still the people yelling, and I think it's just ignorant people. But it's like, all right, well, it doesn't matter. Like, what matters to me is like, do you have the male or female chemicals in your brain, and how long have you had that? To whether it's fair or not. I mean, we do it with steroids and performance enhancing drugs.
Yeah.
Where like you're not allowed to take extra testosterone
Right,
when you're,
right,
you know,
yeah.
so therefore it should just be a chemical thing. Like, so if you are now a woman and you were a male, like how long has it been since the chemicals in your brain have been a woman? And like, do you have any advantage from the amount of testosterone that you did have with muscle building and stuff? Or can we say, all right, you've been had these chemicals for long enough where the statistical advantage of the testosterone is no longer in your system and is no
So it
longer
doesn't matter.
So
Yeah.
therefore, you now are on the equal playing field as every other woman. Right?
That's one of the best solutions you've had. That's a good one.
But everybody would probably agree with that. Even the athletes, if you are a female
Are they
athlete,
just too tired? I'm too tired to do that. Like, no, you don't.
well, but that's where it becomes too
And people just want to be
complicated.
outraged about shit that's not their norm or whatever.
It's also
Oh, he's in the
extremely
chat room.
Oh, sorry, Norm.
But it's also extremely complicated too. That
Yeah,
people
it is.
don't understand that aspect. They're just
Not
like
my norm.
They're just like male or female.
And more important than anything, what have we learned? Like this show knows, like, man, in order to understand something, you gotta want to understand something, right? And if you don't want to understand it, if you just put up that wall and you're like, nah, I'm pretty okay the way it is. I have no growth to do.
Could you get
Right? Imagine there are a lot of those people out there.
Well, stuck in their ways, right?
Yeah.
Could you get a dose of like?
Give me a dose.
If I wanted to get a better understanding of how my wife feels.
Yeah,
right?
what if it would give you more emotion if you were microdosing estrogen, dude? What if you could get
Just like what if we could hook up just like the TINS unit, but instead it's emotion. Oh, like
Give him
Frankenstein.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a 4 all day 4.
Well,
It's too much. He's crying in the bathroom.
Emotionstein with Tom Van.
you would have to I'm guessing be exposed to it for a long period of time, which then there's side effects to that.
Oh, yeah.
Like taking too much estrogen, like I was said, like you'll get boobs and you'll get more body
Get
fat
boobs.
and whatever the estrogen does to you. But it would be interesting if you were able to just get the emotional part so you could have a better understanding, a more well-rounded understanding about
You need to do ecstasy.
the opposite
Yeah.
sex. But the same
You
thing
do
with
ecstasy with me, that'll make you emotional.
the same thing with
Then we'll go on to EDC.
like if my wife
Let's do that for the Christmas party instead.
Next
What?
year, EDC?
No, this year. For Christmas party. Let's all roll together.
I would do that.
It seems-
I would totally do that. I would dress
What
as
does
an
it
elf.
feel like? Does it feel
I've
like
never taken it.
Oh, it's amazing.
Let's get in on it.
To me, it's I
We
get,
need a hookup.
Euphoria?
To me, it would make both of you guys.
I love
it-
Euphoria.
It would make both of you.
Great show, by
There
the
is
way.
Euphoria. It would make both of you chirp a little bit. You'd be less
Chatty.
You'd be more chatty. You'd be less
I've
like.
seen tons of people on ecstasy. I've just never done it.
My chattiness would weave with your chattiness, where you'd fully understand it. You'd like
You're giving to
understand
the back
chirpers a little bit
rubs.
more. You'd be more like. For me, I get like I'd start appreciating I remember appreciating my life more as I was walking down the street. I was like, you know what, things aren't that bad.
This feels like shrooms then.
Probably similar.
it's on the spectrum of some Venn diagram of like that.
Drugs.
Yeah, well, there's like some sort of like euphoric and like I imagine.
And I wanted to fuck like a lot, but then
hallucination.
I had like sort of like a kind of like a flop dick.
Oh.
You know, so
well,
you're-
they say you can't. You
I
like the
couldn't complete.
feeling, but
Yeah, I couldn't
no one ever
complete.
has sex on. I mean, not no one, but like
No, we had
apparently
sex. It was just like a different kind of sex. It was more like there's no way to complete this, but we do want to rub each other's bodies a lot.
Yeah, you just like the feeling of being touched.
Yeah, it's just like you're just your titties. Oh, yeah, there's my penis. Yep, let me rub that. Oh, your love handles feel good. It's like all of that. And then you like put your clothes back on and walk down the street with your Dalmatian until his feet bleed. I was like, I gotta work this out of my body. I gotta work in the morning.
I got microdosing most things. I feel like that's the way, right?
This is the way.
I've been microdosing butt plugs since Deborah was in here yesterday, and
like
How big are you now?
therapists.
I don't know.
Microdose.
You don't want to
MDMA.
know. It's bad.
Like there's therapy in microdosing MDMA
Yeah.
and the shrooms,
Ketamine,
and all that,
yeah.
all that stuff.
One of the things that everything is like, there's life hacks now about even doing huge tasks in microdoses. You know, like if you have something to accomplish, it's like dedicate yourself to it for 30 minutes and then give yourself a 10-minute break. You know, like
Chip away at it.
Yeah.
Well, that's everything, right? Is chip away at it.
I guess. You gonna do another voicemail or email?
Where are we at in time? I don't have the thing on the TV.
We're coming in for a landing,
Okay,
but
'cause
I want to squeeze these unedited
We got
ones.
30 minutes before we got to talk to
All right.
Canadian Josh.
Oh
Let's
yeah,
do-
we gotta
let's do
eat.
one
too.
more.
Okay,
Yeah.
one more and then we'll go. Here we go.
Hey, this is Randy from Georgia. I got to thinking, I remember about 2 or 3 years back, we were talking about taking a shit, and it was too big, and you had to figure out a way to break it in half, that way it don't clog up the toilet. I remember Dan saying, well, everybody knows this. You just stand up and you piss on the turd until it breaks in half. Well, that's not true. I always sit down and pee after I take a shit. I will never be the man that stands up and looks at my own feces. No. All right, bye.
All right.
It's passionate.
that was
For a
weird.
split second, I thought you left this message.
That's a weird take. Also,
I think he's serious. Yeah.
Did he just recently re-listen
It's
to
on
that?
an old episode. It was
Because-
like 7 years ago, I think.
I was under the impression that you pee first, or like it's simultaneous or something.
He holds it, I guess. He holds it till the end.
I'm like, I don't even know if you're gonna have to pee and then poop and then
He
be able to
pinches
hold
it.
the pee. Like, I don't know. I didn't think that was possible.
Maybe he does
Anyway.
Kegels.
Like
Come on,
lately,
sir.
I've been going into bathrooms at events. Like I went into a bathroom at the Improv. I went into the bathroom at
To doo-doo?
No.
Oh.
Hold on now.
Oh, dude, it up
Hold
the
on, my
Improv.
God. No, I went into the bathroom just to go number one, and I went to the bathroom number one at Hourglass. And both times, same day, when I went in there was a guy taking a dump. And the guy taking the dump, things I noticed. Your assholes are very tight and very moist because the farts that come out of you guys are wet, and they're those like that kind. Like you're not. It's all. You're not. It's
Well, it's an emergency.
Oil.
Yeah,
it's
like,
oil.
most-
Thank you. Sam knows it's oil. There's something wrong there. And
Yeah,
the
yeah.
guy at the Improv that was taking a shit, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Well, that was an emergency.
It was
Yeah.
whatever it was very bad. And everything you were doing was this.
Relief.
Oh, like I'm
Yeah,
like, keep it down,
Yeah,
man.
you can,
Come
yeah,
on.
you don't
Shut
have
the
to make
fuck
noises.
up.
You do not have to
Guys
make
love
noises.
doing that.
You know, I almost went. This is something I say.
Even when they pee, guys love making noise.
They do. This is something I say that culturally could be insensitive. But if you're from South America, you're loud when you shit.
All right. Oh, yeah,
If you're man. That's the
yeah.
only one I know of. I'm
Yeah.
seeing a high concentration of spicy Latins that
Yeah.
shit loud. Loud.
Yeah. Well, they're
They
allowed.
eat spicy foods.
Well, and they got
They're
the
a loud
Bluetooth
culture.
in. They're like, hola chico.
Don't talk on the phone in the bathroom.
And they're
please.
wet shits,
Yeah.
and they're like,
Girls do that.
hola chico, yeah, hey.
I
They're
mean,
like loud.
You're an animal if you talk on the phone in the bathroom.
They're loud, man.
it's
They live a more free party life, I feel like. I mean, there's a part of me that wishes I could do that. It's just I'd be embarrassed.
yeah. The radio is never on 3, so it's got to be higher.
Allowed
Like my friends.
it's just something I've noticed. It's just
all my Spanish friends are all just the louder.
they're louder.
people.
Yeah, they're louder, more.
Yeah.
Now, there are a lot of positives. They're more jovial. The parties are better. Food traditionally is better, fresher.
More fun.
Not as boring, but when you walk into the improv, they're loud.
The whites are boring. Like we've got the. We should change that. Like
I'm having a board game night. You guys can all come over and play Settlers of Catan.
All of our stereotypes are horrible, and they're just generic, boring shit stereotypes. Like you never he's a fiery white. Like we're not passionate. No. We're just goddamn bland. Ass white bread.
Yeah,
we stink.
We do. Especially when we get wet.
We don't have any culture.
Onions. Onions. White people smell like onions. Let's all go around the room.
Everybody smells like onions.
I don't.
What?
You know what I've noticed?
BO smells like onions.
Okay, the other night I made an impromptu dish. I did a half an onion. I did mild Italian sausage. I sizzled that all up kind of together. I paired that with some penne pasta, and then I made a homemade marinara that I mixed it all in. It was just like a pasta toss, right? Mm-hmm. But my wife and I consumed so many onions that when I went to eat her pussy, it tasted like onions.
No. Was it just your tongue, though?
No.
Was it just already your breath?
No, because I brought...
And you're so close to something else that's coming back at you?
Here's something I've never said on the air before. I always brush my teeth before I eat my wife's pussy.
That's a good man.
You do?
Yeah. It's a new thing.
It's a weird...
Last couple years, but...
There's a lot of germs in your mouth.
Yeah, I try to... Because I figure it...
well, there's...
minty.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff down there. It's fine.
How does she decide when to reopen the gift shop? You know what I mean? Like, I've often wondered that. My wife's like, no, it's... and then she'll be like, oh, we're good. And then she'll be like, how will you go down on me? Like that sort of thing. And I'm like, well, how did you make sure the cleaning crew vacuumed up? Or have this trash been taken out? Did we refill the register with change? Is all the merchandise with the go-backs been put back?
Take a chance, buddy.
You do take a chance, right?
Yeah.
I am.
That's why the second one's always the big one, because the first one you're always like, I don't know. But the second one,
no, come on.
Yeah.
I don't do that. I don't like it.
And another one.
All right, DJ Khaled.
And another one. All
right. Bye-bye. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha's here. Butler's here. And you look great, buddy.
Easing into the holidays, right? I feel like
hey, it's compliments.
Next
Can't
week
even give this guy compliments.
Thanksgiving.
It is. What are you doing for Thanksgiving? We're going, oddly, we are going non-traditional. We're going oddly.
Don't you always go non-traditional?
No,
they never do tradition.
Oddly enough, we're doing
Your
this.
tradition is to not go traditional.
No, last year was the only year we've done non-traditional, non-turkey, and we did what did we do last year? Carnitas.
I don't know. I feel like every year for Thanksgiving, you're like, we're doing something different.
No, not every year. Just last year was the first one we did. And then this one we're going to do, my wife and daughter have requested that I smoke a pork butt. So we're doing a pulled pork.
So you're just doing pork for Thanksgiving from now on?
Pork is the better of all it's the tastiest meat.
Pretty good.
I mean, if it's not pork, then it's steak. I mean, chicken sucks, right? And turkey is just a big fat chicken.
Josh, you guys do Thanksgiving? What is that up there? Canadian Josh is with us.
Oh, okay. Love the intro. Thanks.
Oh, hold on. I got you.
We're still doing the thing.
Canada. All right. There we go.
Right,
you got a little. Just give a little chef's kiss.
I haven't been on for a while, just to reacclimate people. Yeah, we've been talking about this before, Tom. We celebrate Thanksgiving in October, and it is more based on a celebration of like fall harvest, bringing in the vegetables and crops and stuff as well. Nowhere is near to the scale that you guys celebrate Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay, Samantha coming in with the facts. Tim Dillon makes $189,000 a month on his Patreon.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty damn good.
Yeah, that's a nice paycheck.
Yeah, that's a...
Yeah.
Is that after taxes?
That's almost Canadian Josh money.
Yeah.
Canadian Josh sent me his paycheck one time just to I guess
Really?
cuckold me
Yeah.
or whatever.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I'll take you down a notch.
Yeah, that's
I'll
money.
take you down a notch.
He
buddy.
money cuckolded me, and then I saw it. And yeah, as you could tell, I didn't respond, and that's
Yes.
the ultimate
Nothing.
way to know that you got me good.
But then if they ask,
Yep.
this is the thing I do. I do that
I was
one
like,
as
what
well.
does this guy know? I know more than Canadian Josh.
I immediately get mad at myself. I'm like, I got to change my life. I start getting inspired. I'm like, I'm better than him. I can do this. And then when he asks, hey, did you get my text? I'm like, I must not have gotten that one. I never acknowledge that I saw it and I banked it.
yeah, yeah.
And I banked it for two reasons. Either to beat you in whatever you're beating me or to kill you later when I've exhausted all abilities at trying to beat you.
Then I got mad. I was like, well, he just has to sit in his truck in the Canadian oil pipeline or whatever the hell, and he doesn't got to do nothing. No one ever gets hurt that
Yes,
much.
he said last time we talked to him, he said people get hurt all the time.
No, one guy blew his genitals off or something.
Yeah.
and
What
then-
happened? Is that guy alive?
Yeah, he's alive, minus genitals and minus 1 foot. And then a couple days ago, I actually had a guy have a 60-ton piece of equipment drop on his foot, and that didn't go so well for him.
Does
Oh.
his foot flatten out like a cartoon?
Not necessarily like a cartoon, but yeah, it's obviously flattened. So yeah, he was in pretty bad shape. So
Does it? Okay, here's a question I have. You've seen a lot of this.
Can you save that, or is that a goner?
yeah, I think he'll be able to save it. Multiple fractures and what's called compartment syndrome, where basically all blood flow is limited to the extremity. But yeah, I think he'll be able to save it.
What? I mean, so will it look like a normal foot though, or will it be like they'll have to put like skin from other parts of his body? I got friends that have skin from other parts of their body
Grafted on.
and I got to tell you, it's not quite there yet.
It'll probably never be the same.
Yeah, it's not quite there yet because we have friends. I see this, and every single time you do it, you're like, when you see it, you're like,
yeah. So, but Josh, your job is just to keep them alive till they get to the hospital. So it's like pretty. I mean, what do you do with the foot? They drop the 60-pound
Ice. You put it in ice.
The biggest
60
thing,
ton-
the biggest thing in that case is definitely pain management. So I filled him up with fentanyl till it was coming out of his nose, and he had a smile on his face by the time we got him on a helicopter.
Can you get
So
us
you just
fentanyl?
give some people fentanyl.
Yeah, you're a
That's
drug
all you
dealer.
do.
Fentanyl or morphine, yeah, that's our.
So
that's
wait
our
a
two
minute.
go-tos.
You're just giving people fentanyl? You are the human equivalent of Florida. You're a walking Florida.
Yeah. I'm just saying, for the amount of money you make, I don't know. It's
He's a
like
drug dealer.
I gotta come in here. I gotta yell at Butler. Then everybody yells at me for doing that.
Yeah.
Then everybody
I
yells
like
at me
that
about
you do
dowsing
that.
rods.
No, I
You
like
Butler
that.
okay now?
No, he's
No,
not
it's
okay.
worse than
He's
ever.
going to therapy now.
God.
I
You
offered
guys are making me nervous. I'm like, oh no, is it ending? Is this the beginning of the end?
Okay,
No,
just because
it's always the
No,
beginning.
you're
of
fine.
the end. The beginning was the beginning of the end.
Slow burn.
because I'm a gentleman, I have, and much like Travis Scott, I've gone out of my way to pay for listeners' therapy if they listen to the segment.
For 1 month, though.
If they
1 month.
listen to the therapy, Tom
Get a
and
promo
Butler
code.
fight, I will pay to make sure that you guys are, get your head right.
All right, Josh, what do we got first?
All right, I'm going to go back in the time machine a bit. I'm going to start I wanted to address the beginning of my bit. I went through old emails and text messages. Believe it or not, I started doing this with you guys in 2018, the fall of 2018. You might recall, Tom, it started as kind of a challenge to you because EJ's bit was ongoing, and I think you were getting sick of it even back then. And
Wait a
like,
minute.
anybody can do a bit.
We've been
Email me. I
doing-
kind of called you out.
We've been doing Nerd Jock since 2018. I'm seriously.
before
Yeah,
that.
before
Like,
that.
okay, I don't know if you guys
Before
know
that.
Been like
this,
6
but
years.
the last segment he was on has unraveled. I mean, it's the most scandalous thing we've ever done.
What do you
We
mean?
have
Also,
to cancel
the
his
funniest
bit.
thing
On
was that
Tuesday?
he was in studio this week.
And he got so much wrong, though.
But he got some things right, which Tom never texts the group. Texted us last night in a panic.
Yeah, you
Called
did.
EJ an idiot, and he was wrong. Tom was
That's true.
wrong.
That's true.
Yeah,
Then
but that's
I-
just how being the boss works. The
Yeah.
boss always yells at you for something. It's a
he's wrong
projection.
every time.
And then the
Yeah,
boss
yeah.
is wrong, but you can't say anything about it. And you just got to roll with it because he's the boss.
Who's the boss?
So the reason I bring up EJ and Nerd Jock segment is because EJ, and I believe the date was November 8th, he proclaimed that, I think somebody called in and said, or maybe you mentioned it, Dan, somebody said, we will pay EJ not to do his bit. So what I have done, I am proud to present a brand new GoFundMe campaign. I have just started. Sam is going to share the link in the Twitch chat room now.
Oh, it's real.
GoFundMe, look up cancel Nerd Jock. So I've started a GoFundMe. I will be collecting money. I will take that money and send it to EJ, provide all the donors with screenshots, and we will get the funds together to send to EJ to stop doing his bit.
Hold on, send it to
What do you
us. Send the money to us.
Because we control it. Yeah,
We'll stop doing it.
Don't send it to him.
It won't take much at all. We'll just not do it.
I mean, really, whatever you send me, I have a switch here. I just flip the switch.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah. I mean, a couple bucks.
I think he said $50 a week. I think he said he would stop doing it. So just a handful of listeners and BDMs get together. Everybody throws in a couple bucks. We can surely get $50 a week together.
That's
I'll send it to EJ, and then he won't do his bid anymore.
What is that? $2,500?
I mean,
well, what are we looking at here? Grand total to get it kilt for the year.
Well, if all of our listeners gave us $1, we'd have like $85.
Okay. Yeah, all right.
So,
all right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty good.
It's like
that's
a
pretty
lunch.
Good.
It's a lunch.
Yeah.
One lunch.
Oh.
All right. What else you got?
All right. So yeah, GoFundMe.com. Look up cancel.
Oh yeah, I'm putting it.
I'll
put it in the notes.
Yeah, and I'll also say, if we go above and beyond, we'll donate the money to Yellow Brick Road Foundation. That sound fair?
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
EJ's getting screwed out of the money.
Well, EJ only wanted $50. That's what he said. He said for $50 he'll just not do it.
$50 total.
It's an audio contract
for him to him each week.
But each week.
But if we have Canadian Josh is willing to give me $50 just to not do it, then that's better. That's passive income to the. I mean, that's going to make the boss happy, which means less freak out text messages in the middle of the night thinking that EJ's bits like going off the rails because we don't have to do it anymore.
But if you beg me for anything, I'll do whatever you want. I am not a good villain in the fact that like if someone's begging for the life, like I will spare them at all.
Oh, I won't. I'd make you have sex with me before I spare your life.
Well, you're a good villain.
Am I?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a good villain, but I'm a bad person.
Yes,
I see how that works. I see how that works.
Yeah, if someone begs me for something, I'll just be like, all right. Like if a homeless man, like if they ask me once and I can get away with, I'm sorry, no money. But then if he gets into it, like, oh, come on, what about this? Or like, sorry, I'll be like, oh, okay. And then whatever he wants, I'll just start giving it to him. Because I feel awkward and
you'll do that forever.
I want to please them.
Do it forever.
Yeah, I'm a pleaser.
Okay. Go ahead, John.
All righty. Moving on. Yeah, not necessarily Canadian related, just some kind of a journey I wanted to share with you guys. I've gotten into a deep dive in the last month or so with all the time I have on my hands working so much out here into the world of blockchain technology, crypto, and NFTs. And I've started investing heavily in it. And I know, Dan, you have mentioned it before. Have you guys ever explored the possibility of a Tom and Dan or T&D Media NFT, non-fungible token? Is that something we talked about?
I actually
made one.
I mined one or farmed one or created
You minted one, yeah.
Minted one, whatever the term is that you get it wrong and then the nerds are like, well, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've minted one and I have it and it's our first episode, the actual origin file that I have.
Nice.
The source file from when we originally did it back in 2009. And I know not what to do with it because in my
Can I
world...
buy it from you? Is it like are you going to put it for sale? Like,
yes.
It is currently for bid if you can find it, but I'll send you the link. Yeah.
$5,000.
Okay, that was my next question. What do we at?
It's pretty expensive.
See, you shouldn't have shown me your paycheck because I did.
Wait, was it in loonies and toonies though?
No,
How was the payment?
Sweet. They get paid in geese. It's 5,000 geese.
Oh, Tom, you could do a soapy butt NFT. Woo! What would that bidding start at?
Oh man,
Excited for that.
Yeah, let me buy that.
Well.
Hey, it might be non-fungible, but it ain't non-fuckable, I'll tell you that. Sorry, Sam.
So, Josh, getting into the way I looked at it, I was like, there's not enough of our listeners that are into crypto and NFTs to be interested.
We have a whole group. We have a whole subgroup.
But you're into it.
Oh, is there?
I'd like to be into it.
I'm not into it.
I just don't know that much about it, but I want to dabble.
I just took some money out of our retirement and then just put money into that because I thought, well, I think this may do better than, the 6% or whatever a year.
Good, yeah.
And so that's my only thing. But other than that, I just put it all in there and then I'm not touching it. until like 10 years or seeing where it goes. But I'm not trading it. I know people that, they're trying to jump on whatever the new Shiba is to try to like become a millionaire.
Shiba Inu, those ones, yeah.
All the getting rich quick, I've given up on getting rich quick. That is luck. That is a lot of right place, right time. That's a lot of gamble. I know some people that put like $5,000 that they had extra into Dogecoin, and it got up. I mean, they put it in there when it was like microcents, and they made $100K when it jumped up. I don't know if they took it out or not or whatever, but that's like, who's got an extra $5,000 to gamble with? Only rich people to begin with, right? Or people that have like a bunch of leftover money. Like, I don't have $5,000 just sitting around that I'm willing to possibly lose. And so if you don't have that, then it's seemingly impossible to get rich quick. And the other point of it is just to either long-term invest, like any other long-term investment, like a stock, or you're going to try to, micro trade, which is like, sell high, buy low at different increments. And that seems like an all day endeavor, right? Like you have to study that.
Yeah, that'd be a video game scenario, right? You go home, you grind, you just grinding on it.
And I know the people that do that, they have to wake up at 3 a.m. because China's market opens or whatever.
I know a guy that does that. That's funny.
It never closes. So it's like that's an all day job that who's got time for that? So it's seemingly like, you're screwed if you're trying to get rich quick, because that ain't going to happen, or statistically ain't going to happen. You could long-term invest, which I tell people, like, go ahead. But then again, it's scary because I'll tell you the truth about the crypto is when I put a chunk of money in that not that much, but it was enough to make me scared.
Yeah.
When I put it in at like $40,000, I thought that may be like, all right, I'll put it in around this before it maybe goes higher or whatever. And then it went down to like, I think it got down to $29,000. And then so I'm looking at how much, like it was over $10,000 I lost. Or at least I didn't lose, but the value went down.
Right. Well, at the time, sure, it wasn't evaluated.
And then I was like, I was sweating it. I was like, oh, please. And now it's back up. And then, I'm in the positive again. But you got to have the right mindset.
You have to be prepared for that, sure. Don't go above what you can't afford to lose, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what, there's a podcast I listen to now called Bankless. And I'll share with you, Tom, the strategy and anybody else who's interested. So you basically want to take whatever you want to invest X amount of dollars per week, 100, 500, 1,000, whatever you can. So take that X amount of money you want to invest into crypto and take 70% of that and put that into 2 cryptos. So this is what these guys do. This is their advice. This is what I'm following. So take 70% of what you want to invest and put 90% of that into Ethereum and 10% of that into Bitcoin. And the analogy they use with Ethereum and Bitcoin, which I really like, is think of Bitcoin as gold. It's like the gold standard we have now. There's only 21 million Bitcoins there. So consider that gold. So put some of your 70% into Bitcoin, a bigger amount into Ethereum, and that is what they call it HODL, HODL. I'll learn all the terms now. Hold on for dear life. So your Bitcoin and Ethereum, you're going to leave alone. Then you take another chunk of that money, say 30%, and consider that your fun money. And that's why I thought it would appeal to you, Tom, because it is along the lines of gambling. So take this next chunk, a lesser amount, but it's something you could afford to go in and bet on a football game or in a casino. Take a chunk of that, do a little bit of research, put it into some blue chip cryptos that have potential. And then, Tom, you can take 30% of that, and that's your gambling money. Like you like betting on football, and you can put it into all different altcoins, meme coins, Doge, Shiba Inu. So if you do it, with that type of sound investment strategy, a big chunk into the gold standard, but like I said, Bitcoin's gold, consider Ethereum as oil, like to use commodities we use today.
Yeah.
And then just take another amount, kind of as your play amount, right? And like you can do research, Tom. You research gambling for football and stuff. You can do research and set Google alerts and kind of see what's going where. And, you might pick up a little bit with, but the stuff you can afford to lose, though, that would be my advice.
Yeah. No, that's good advice. Also, if you're going to put a chunk of money in, you should dollar cost average it, which means put it in over a specified amount of time, which will help you with the extreme fluctuations of the market. So it's like you don't want to put in $10,000 cash into Bitcoin and then have it drop, and you lose thousands. Put $10,000 in $250 at a time, 1 week at a time, right?
Yeah.
Because then you'll get a better average of a crazy volatile market.
Ghost of Manu Bull chiming in saying that this isn't a fun conversation or as fun as talking about Rush, maple syrup, or beavers.
Agreed.
Yeah. Hey, listen, we can talk Bitcoin.
I like talking about it. By the way, this Friday, the only reason I wanted to say that little blurb from the chat room is that this Friday is a full moon, and it is the beaver moon.
Josh,
it is. It's called Beaver Moon.
The only thing I don't like about crypto, and we'll end with this, and we'll get on to maple syrup, is you say it's like gambling, but it doesn't seem like because I gamble in the NFL, but what I do is
I like it.
That has to do with a lot of different data points, right? I'm looking at injuries. I'm looking at the number itself. I'm looking at where it started. I'm looking at the power rankings of the team. I'm looking at, are they playing at home? I'm looking at the defense compared to the offense, how the teams match up. There's a lot of different data points that you could use to somehow, and this is the important part, hopefully 51% over the or 53% over the span of time get accurate, right? You're still it's a little bit over a coin flip, but all the cryptocurrencies, it doesn't seem like, besides from where it's done, what it's done, there's nothing really, no information on how I can predict where it's going to go. Where are the data points that I'm even trying to use? That's the problem.
No, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, for sure. Last month, guys, I didn't get to call into because I was in the Dominican Republic. There was Wi-Fi down there. It was kind of sketchy, and it was dropping off randomly. So I just wanted to share a couple of my drug-related stories from the Dominican Republic.
We like
drugs.
drugs.
Would you guys, Tom, Dan, or Sam, when you guys are in the Dominican, would you attempt to score weed while you're down there?
I bring my own.
I brought my own. Yeah. When I went, I brought
How do you bring it?
I brought pills.
In your bag.
Yeah, I brought
nice
pills.
Nice try, TSA.
Yeah, I brought pills in my Advil jar, and I brought a vape thing in my wife's tampon case.
Josh, it's like you asked me how I got into DeVry. I opened the door. That's how I got into you just
DeVry reference. That's awesome.
You just
I just never. I mean, I don't smoke flower anyway, but I'll never bring that because it smells.
Yeah.
Too stinky.
You just bring oils and edibles, and you throw it in an Advil bottle.
They don't care anymore.
I was too scared, and so of course I'm searching this on Reddit, scoring weed in the Dominican.
Oh
and
my God.
The big problem you run into.
Wait, nerd Canadian Josh trying to find weed in Dominican Republic.
Weed in the Dominican Republic.
Man.
I like how you're scared of the TSA agents that don't give a damn about their job. But you're not scared of Dominican Republic drug dealers.
Yeah.
Who could kill you.
I ultimately was scared of them because after reading Reddit threads, the biggest problem you run into, so you find your concierge, your bartender or whatever at the resort, you slip him a 10 or 20, he hooks you up. But a lot of times those guys will be in cahoots with a local law enforcement, and then they'll sell you the weed. Then they'll call their buddy the cop, who come and they try to extort you for hundreds and hundreds of US dollars or end up in a Dominican jail. So I found the guy, and it was funny. He was pretending he was a gardener, and I'm coming down the stairwell, and our eyes locked, and he gives me the nod. I give him the nod. I'm like, okay, and then he gives me the universal signal for weed. And
do you want me to? You want the Canadian Sonicare? I don't know. I was doing a French accent.
So I chickened out and I didn't do it, but you guys said you bring your edibles. And so then the next panic moment I had was when we were leaving, and we're out on the tarmac. It's like you walk out on the tarmac to get on your planes, and I've got my backpack on me, and I see the drug dog coming to sniff, presumably a drug dog. Maybe it was a bomb dog.
It's a bomb dog.
Yeah.
It's always a bomb dog.
Okay, because I'm sitting there. I was half cut too. Always get drunk on the day you leave. By the way, it's a better way to go home. It just makes, you know what I mean?
I can't do it because I've been drunk the whole time, and that's my sober up day. And I'm like I feel like crap.
No, that's your last day to party.
No, I can't do it.
Yeah, it was last day to party. I was like, I was 2 double Grey Goose vodkas in, and then the drug dog was 3 people away from me, and they're sniffing bags, and that's when I realized the backpack I had on has had THC products in it. And then I almost had like a complete panic attack. I'm like, plane's boarding. This dog is going to hit on my bag because I've had a vape pen in there. I've had edibles in there. I've had oils in there. And so he tells me to set the bag down, and I reluctantly set the bag down. And I'm like, oh, my God, I'm going to be stuck. I didn't have anything, but maybe it was a bomb dog because it didn't find anything. So.
Well, if you didn't have anything, why? Josh, you're a nerd.
Yeah. I would miss my flight.
You're a scared
There's
nerd.
Only one flight a day back to Canada. I would miss the flight. My whole family and all the friends we went with by, and there I am because I'd be messing around, getting, butt searched.
There is a certain amount of anxiety that I used to get about having bags that used to have weed in them. That's like a thing. I've done that too. It's like, I feel like if it's not, it would have to be in there, right? Like, okay, like just because this bag was I did put weed in it.
I guess, when a cop pulls behind me because of all my years of being bad at life and having something wrong with me, I still do get nervous when a cop goes behind me, even though nowadays, like, I got all my registrations fine. I have no warrants out. It's all like, I'm not riding dirty.
I get nervous.
I'm just like, oh, cops behind me. But so there is an element, but usually it's just a split-second thing because then I realize, well, there's nothing I have in here, so it doesn't matter. But, I mean, I guess we should put the memo out. You can travel with marijuana. It's fine. That's it.
You heard it from us.
You heard it here first.
That's the memo.
If you get into a problem
Whatever
with
you want.
TSA and you have this podcast or this radio show on your phone, just play it for them. You'll be fine.
Yeah, you won't. They're not looking for that. They don't care.
I'm just saying if you do, though, if you're that one guy that's like, you know what, I'm going to make everybody's day a pain in the ass today.
I don't think I'll go beyond. I've never even heard of it. I've never heard of anybody email me, like, besides from like you trying to get bricks or something, like some crazy, you're trying to like smuggle something like, but personal use cannabis products, I've never ever heard of anybody ever getting stopped or whatever.
I haven't either, but more people are unlike us. Like, most people are afraid. Most people are like Josh. Like, even Norm, half the chat room, they're all like, yep, no, and I'm afraid the one time I bring it, I get in trouble. I think that
landing in jail in Dominican, like just the specter of being in a Dominican jail, like that would be bad.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to be in a jail in the Dominican Republic. That's not something I want to do.
You do have to worry about, like, in certain countries, they will find stuff and try to, extort and get money out of you. I mean, but rarely going to jail, because once they get the money, that's all they want. So, you're basically paying a fine. I don't think they'll ever put you in jail for some weed pen that you have.
Although there was that show for a while, right, where it was like
Locked Up Abroad or
whatever.
where
it was like, these people were in the
Never watched those.
This Canadian
They mentioned
nerd.
that on Home Sweet Home Alone.
Yeah, they're all like, this Canadian nerd was in the Dominican Republic and he scored weed at the Lido bar. Now look at him. He's getting BF'd in a Dominican jail.
Yeah.
A lot of those Locked Up Abroad are people actually trying to smuggle drugs or something like that. It's never for
It's usually like
joint.
way crazier countries too. It's not like Dominican Republic. It's
Yeah,
like
they're in
they're trying to
Singapore.
get out of like Egypt.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Like some sort of
Yeah, like if you're going to Egypt, listen, don't
Yeah,
bring weed to Egypt
it's
or
crazy.
anywhere in the Middle East or Singapore or like
that's not the Bahamas there. That's different. Way different.
Yeah. Realize what country you're going to before, but you're fine.
So what else you got, Josh?
So you guys had a Weird Job Wednesday a couple weeks ago with a Canadian guy, Canadian Matt, I believe his name was.
Yeah,
and he was like a fuel truck.
He hates Nightmare Before Christmas. He called back to say that. That guy's an angry man, that Canadian Matt.
Yeah, he was. I think we can agree that was the worst Weird Job ever. I was kind of disappointed. We had a Canadian guy on there for Weird Job. But the other thing I was thinking, like, how many other Canadian listeners are there? I wonder that sometimes.
Just 2.
We got Matt, we got Josh.
Yeah.
Just me and Matt?
Yep.
That's it. Confirmed.
If you are Canadian, email us. But that's it.
We need to get we need to do roll call. I want to get a tally of how many Canadians are true T&D fans, BDMs.
They live in Canada.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
Not
have to live
formerly Canadian.
No, you have to live in Canada. Like Stu and Sue, my neighbors, they don't live in Canada anymore. They don't count.
Yeah.
They're lovely people.
You
I
can
love.
probably tell, Dan. Dan, you can probably tell by downloads. Hey, you can if you're
Yeah,
on your
absolutely.
media server.
Yeah, I can absolutely tell you.
Butler, look in Libsyn. See how many Canadian downloads we have.
Yeah, go. But you can narrow it down to like day. You can get down to day.
Yeah.
Show me what we did 2 days ago in Canada. That'll be a little more accurate.
Yeah, we'll find out before you leave, Josh.
Yeah, we'll definitely.
All right.
We'll run the numbers and see if it's. I think it's just 2 of you.
What do you think it is? How many downloads did we get 2 days ago in Canada?
114. That's it.
Really?
I'm going less because I'm going.
Well,
14.
it's all of our products, though. It's all of our products. It could be pulling from ACT. It could be pulling from AMT. It could be old shows, new shows. We got a lot of stuff out there. I'm like 114.
Well, we got Canadian Matt. He listened. He downloaded a couple ACTs.
That's 3 shows.
Josh downloaded a couple
That's
ACTs.
5 to 7 shows.
Yeah. So I'm going.
So if we have 10 people, it's 114 shows.
12 downloads.
Say 30.
All right, 30. Sam.
1.
Oh,
I'm going.
I like that.
Price
You're
is
doing
right.
Price is
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's smart. She just wants to win. She's a competitor.
You're right, because Josh, he stopped listening. He just,
yeah.
Well, now that he's
when he's not on the show, he's not listening.
when he's got he's got that fame.
Yeah.
Now he's super mad that we got Matt.
Should we cancel all of the bits that the
listeners do?
The listeners do?
Oh. Is that going to happen? I wonder that. Are we going to get a memo someday? Because if you guys are going to cancel all the bits,
I just won't pick up your phone call.
I don't even send memos to Butler and Sam.
No.
Like, why would I send a memo to
here.
you? Like, I'm not.
We have every single
I just want to know what
day
the last one is.
here at T&D Media is a different goal. It's all
very confusing.
Yeah. And then we start projects.
All right, I got the number from Butler.
We bail on them.
You know, I did write down imaging. Remember the imaging you were writing like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
I need that. I need
Because
to finish that.
I go through these ADD crazy
No, I can't even remember it.
manic episodes where I'm like, I got this idea,
It drives me absolutely bonkers.
and then we start it all yelling at Tony, do it, and then I forget about it, and and then they're like, whatever.
2 months later,
And then we're all
we
sitting there
never
one
do
day,
any of it.
all I hear is BDM Infinity. Mumbles
That's the only one I keep going back to.
Yeah.
So Butler gave me the number.
Okay.
9.
Here we go.
No.
I would.
I think you're close. It's
You're
12,
close.
right?
Yeah.
He's at 14.
Oh, 14.
Without going over, he hit it.
Yeah.
Well, he did go
is
over.
it 9 listeners or 9 downloads?
Just 9 downloads on 2 days ago.
I'm gonna guess he's reading that wrong. Over all of our properties, ACT, AMT, and BDM shows. Really? 9 downloads.
Oh well, yeah. You'd have to go.
I'm telling you, he's wrong. I know. I'm the
Wait,
only
the
person
ACT
that. What?
No, I didn't run everything.
Yeah, you got to run it all because I'm saying over our
Come
property.
you gotta add
Butler.
'em up.
Damn it, man.
Because
Yeah.
we got different Libsyn accounts. You're probably was that ACT or AMT?
This is a mediocre.
Oh, that's not
Friday
looking
free
good.
show.
That's not looking good.
Ooh.
If that's our low point, oof. They don't even know about ACT. They don't even know about BDM and OG shows.
Well, AMT, I mean, we'll do 1 show a week, so there's going to be less. So
Yeah, but that's the strongest. I mean, we've been there forever, you know?
yeah,
That's the heritage.
yeah. But
You know, that's Halo 1.
that means there could be 9 Canadian listeners technically, if they 2 days ago just downloaded 1 AMT.
That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, not many of you.
Well,
though,
I got
Josh.
work to do up here, don't I? I obviously have work to do. Maybe
Yeah,
we work out
spread
some
the
sort of
word.
commission base with you, Tom. Get some BDM signed up. You throw me a few
Canadian street
throw me a few
team.
bucks.
Yes, Canadian street team. They're the nicest street team.
ACT 24.
24
No,
on
20
ACT.
no.
So is
More
it
on
24
ACT.
plus
Yeah.
12
9.
or plus 9?
Yeah. And then we'd have to look at the BDM
Yeah,
show.
we gotta look at BDM. You add it all up, and that's what we did 2 days ago.
Yeah. It don't matter, Josh. The Canadian,
It don't matter, Josh.
Just don't bite it.
the Canadian
true.
listeners, because you guys can't really use our sponsors. Now you could be BDMs, so that does help us. But if there's
Doesn't help you though.
But how does that work with Libsyn? Can you use your weirdo Canadian shillings to
I don't know
subscribe?
how they do the conversion.
Yeah.
I didn't even know we had that.
You guys on your love meter, 1095 is the top. So I'm a 1095 BDM. But when you convert it, I actually pay about $14.90 a month as a BDM. So
So you pay the most out of all BDMs.
You're the king. You're the king of BDMs.
Because technically you're paying
Josh
more value
and he does, well,
than any other person
he has
can.
to. He has to. There's no other way around it.
Yeah.
No other choice.
Well, you
guys
could
bill in US
VPN.
dollars, I got to pay it.
You could VPN in like you're from, America.
Yeah.
And then use that. You can VPN in, pay the cheaper price, then get out of there. But if you did that, I'll cancel your account.
So, Josh, how does that work? Is the Canadian dollar worth more than the American dollar?
No, it's about I think it's like 78 cents.
So
right
it
now.
takes more.
I pay like 22 cents on the dollar for the conversion.
I like how you don't know how money works.
No,
that. I didn't expect you to ask that question, actually. That one scared me a
Yeah,
little
one
bit.
Canadian dollar is 79 cents.
I guess that was
There you go.
stupid.
No, it wasn't, but it was one of those
stupid.
things where
It
you're
was
like, you're
stupid.
talking about like you're investing in Bitcoin and this, or you're the business, and you're like,
I don't know what I'm doing.
so the Canadian
There it
dollar's
is.
worth more? And
I
I'm
am-
like, oh my God, this is bad.
I am very stupid.
Oh.
And I realized
Wait a
that.
minute.
I am stupid. I like stupid.
And then
I have never been stupid to the point of passing out.
it makes me feel happy. I'm like, oh, thank God. Because it's less stress. Because if I thought I was smart, there's a lot to live up to, right? If you're just stupid, you're like, oh, I don't have to, what am I going to do?
Well, you're going to ruin her business and scare the
Oh,
crap out of her.
That's a
what
small
a-
price to pay.
Yeah.
That's what I say. That's just collateral damage.
And it's not even my fault. I'm stupid.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you expect? It's your fault for
Yeah, you should
working
have-
for a stupid
That's
person.
true.
God have hitched your wagon to the stupid horse.
Your fault, Josh's fault. Anyway, what else we got, Josh?
So last time I talked to you guys, we were just before the federal election here in Canada. I remember you guys showed you who the candidates were. I thought it was going to be close. I thought Vijay Singh had a chance, but Trudeau's back. We got Prime Minister Trudeau reelected.
Ain't that Trudeau?
That's just because everybody's lazy.
And they're like, just vote for the slightly attractive guy.
And they just heard the name, so they just
Trudeau,
write
I
it
don't
down.
know. I kind of know him. He looks okay.
Nobody knows
Other
anything.
guy's wearing a funny hat. No to that guy.
No one's researching. It must be hard to be a politician because no matter what, nothing really matters. You know what I'm saying? It all boils down to the majority of people are just writing a name they've heard before. Right? No one really knows what the hell they're voting for.
You're talking about most voters, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
You're right.
You're just seeing a
You're
name.
right.
And you're like, oh, that's. It goes into.
It has only been modern history or modern times in voting that I, because of my wife, do research for before I vote. Right.
Yeah.
Every other time I voted, it'd just be like, I don't know. I like that judge's name. This guy, that guy, party line. Burr, burr, burr.
So I happen to know someone that is related to a politician in Miami that recently got in huge trouble because what he did to win was he just paid, allegedly, it's all news story or whatever.
Sam, you'll find this
he
fascinating.
paid a guy that had the same name as his opponent. He paid his register fees or whatever, and
So he could split the
which,
vote.
by the way, it's not illegal if that guy did it himself. But the fact that you're the guy that running against the person paid for his fees or whatever,
they can find that out. They can track that back.
And it was just the same name as his opponent, and he registered as an independent or whatever, and the guy got 4,000 votes or whatever it is, and it was so neck and neck that those votes actually would have mattered to the election. People just vote they didn't even paying attention. They just voted for a name that they thought, and they weren't even paying attention that there was two of the same name, and they just this guy. That's how little people care. No one cares.
Well, you don't have time to care, right? Like maybe you care, but you got kids and job and everything else, and you gotta manage those priorities. And certainly, there's things come before getting out like a newspaper or the internet and writing. You know what? 'Cause sometimes the newspaper, and the only reason I say this, sometimes they're the only place that will take each candidate and list what their what their actual views are, so you can go like, oh, I'm like this person.
It does make me laugh every time because every single huge election, there's always the campaigns of like, get out there and vote. Doesn't matter what you know or what you do. It's just go to the place.
Hey,
and
what's up? It's Puff Daddy. Rock the vote.
And then it's like, I don't know if that's good. You're just telling people just go out there and fill out whatever they see.
I know you haven't done the research, but rock that vote.
I was like, I don't know. People could be voting against their own best.
I vote for pineapple.
They could be voting against themselves or their own.
Or what they need.
Or what they need, like based on they just don't know. So I don't know. Should you be yelling
I think
at
the
everybody?
minimum wage should be lower. All right.
It's like you're sending an army of people just to go vote because that's the message. Is like, I don't know if that's the right message. Like, shouldn't you be like educate yourself?
Yeah.
Then
vote
if
you feel you need to.
yeah.
But if you're still dumb after education, no vote for you.
It shouldn't just be like, get out there, whatever happens in the like. No, I don't know. Is that good? Anyway, what? Anything else for Josh?
No, I got to go back to work.
Oh, well, you know what?
What are you gonna do?
Pushing fentanyl
I
on
want
people.
to let you know.
You gotta give someone fentanyl.
I want to let you know that the chat room finds you very attractive. The ladies find Josh extremely fetching on the Twitch and the YouTube replays. Twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. Tom and Dan Live if you want to watch us.
I will have to see Canadian Matt to compare.
We need a picture of Canadian Matt, and we could do the battle of the Canadian honks.
Yeah.
I think it's just his accent. That's what the ladies like.
Yeah, because Canadian accents are very sexy.
Yeah. All the ladies
like it
when you...
What does look like a regular white dude? You know what I'm saying?
Like a nerd.
Like everybody else. All white dudes look the same.
Nerd accent. Like he whispers in your ear. He's like,
I educated myself on voting.
All right, Josh.
All right, make sure you go to GoFundMe.com and look for Cancel Nerd Jock. Let's make that happen.
All right.
Ghost of Manute Bull already said he gave some
donated.
money.
I already threw $20 in myself, so we're well underway. Let's do this.
All right, we're up to 25 now.
There we go, 25.
There we go.
Yeah, so you get to 50, give it to EJ.
No,
Then we
give
got to
it
do
to us.
more work.
Give it us. All right, Josh, be good, man. Hope tell the family we said hey, okay?
Okay, very good.
All right. Very good to you, sir.
All right, we'll be right back.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Where do you guys... Are you guys big breakfast folks?
Yeah, I like breakfast.
Yeah, like I like breakfast too. My family likes breakfast more than me, though.
It's my least favorite meal.
Yeah,
I just eat it because I have to.
I think I'm a lunch man, which is weird because I think out of all the stops on, when you're eating...
I just don't like traditional breakfast type foods.
That's okay. Yeah, I'm sort of anti-egg right now, but I go through egg phases. But my wife and daughter are huge on the breakfast. So I'm listening to SBK's podcast yesterday, and he brought up something that I normally don't think about. But he brought up the fact that and I am very much in line with his way of thinking, he despises small breakfast linked sausage. He is a patty sausage man.
All right.
I am a patty sausage man.
If it's a sandwich, I need a patty.
Yes.
But if not, don't care. Don't care enough. Could be either.
Okay. Butler, link sausage, patty sausage.
I'll go patty.
Patty.
Right
I think most people are patty sausage people.
By
the way,
He's
courtesy.
a Linkman. I knew it.
This is courtesy of SBK. Check out his podcast. But I'm stealing something he talked about.
And
you're a Linkman. That's surprising to me. Maple Link or standard Link?
Well,
because there's two kinds. There's regular Link sausage.
Yep.
There's Maple Link.
I'll tell you, this is how I came up with it, because when you first asked, I thought to myself, well, I don't care.
Now, Tracy just went nuts. She goes, link on a plate, patting on a biscuit. That sounds like an old rhyme that you tell your kid. Link on a plate and a patting on a biscuit. Come on in.
That's my move. Same, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it makes
everybody.
sense.
Now, I am anti-link sausage, and maybe this might break up our show.
So,
I am anti-link sausage like SBK. We are anti it. That is garbage sausage.
I look at it like it's the same tastes the same, whatever. So it shouldn't matter. But
my God, man, you're crazy. The casing changes the whole flavor of it.
When I'm at a buffet like a cruise or some sort of hotel
Yeah.
where I have a breakfast buffet.
When
and
you're
then-
feeling your chungus, right? When
Yeah.
you're at a buffet, you're all
And-
chungy in.
And then I scoop the eggs, and they're always watery. I like it extra.
They're powdered. You just add water to powdered
I
eggs.
like
It's
extra
disgusting.
watery and slimy eggs. I get a big pile of those, and then
Disgusting.
if it's a fancy enough buffet or like a cruise has this too because they have a lot of options, they will have 2 different options of sausage, and they'll have the patty and the link.
Yeah.
And I remember I will go to the link.
Why?
I don't know. At a buffet, I just am gravitated towards the link.
Patty sausage is more flavor. Link sausage, you got a casing on the outside, and it's like a slimy casing.
The way it tastes,
It's like little fingers.
any logic behind your argument is null and void to why I'm attracted to the link. I don't know why. I'm just attracted to the link.
But
I think it's because
it's an inferior. It's a poor person's sausage.
Yeah, but it's a
A
phallic.
little hot dog. Little breakfast dog.
Anything that's phallic, I am more attracted to.
Okay,
All right.
that's true. That I'm that way too.
For power, not for gay.
I'm out of that just pure curiosity.
not for gay.
I'm in both.
For me, I'm just about curiosity. Well, like when I see anything, I'm like, I wonder if I can put that in my mouth and push it all the way back to the back of my throat without
Banana.
gagging. I challenge. I like to challenge myself in life.
yeah.
Every day is a new challenge. I look around. I look at different things. I look at a statue. I'm like, I wonder if I can put that statue's arm in my throat all the way to the back, flicking my uvula.
How do those girls do the clown balloon all the way? That's
a trick.
That they biting it and then letting the air out as they push it down.
No, they're hiding the rest of the balloon in their hand.
Is that how
Yeah,
do they do
it's
it?
a sleight of hand.
I thought it was like it is.
Does. It's not going all the way in because then
No.
the tip of the balloon would get in their stomach acid and it would pop.
Dumb old man gets tricked by
No,
balloons.
come on. I know they're not. It's not going all the way in. I just thought that they put it in their mouth and then they create a hole.
That's possible too. I can see that.
Or in their mouth side, and as they they're deflating it, so it looks like it's going.
But then they pull it back out.
Oh, yeah.
So were they blowing it up real fast?
I'm saying really dumb things today.
I like it. It's turning me on a little bit.
You're transitioning into dumb old man.
Every dumb thing you say, I just want to put you in my mouth.
So, how are they doing that trick?
I have no idea.
It's probably the balloon rubber and it is gaining girth and filling up somewhere in their esophagus. You know what I mean? Like it's backing up.
No.
Yeah.
That's not how they do it.
Well, then how? Then
He asks you how they do it, and when you try to give him one example, nope,
Well,
that's not it.
Well, I
that
don't even
doesn't
know if
make any
that's very
sense.
true. I'm just saying that's what I think happens because it's like anything that's rigid but not fully rigid, like a hot dog.
But
if I was putting a hot dog, pushing it into your hand, the hot dog would at some point its true form or the form that it's currently in would
smush.
It would be smushed, and it would still fill up all the crevices within my hand, and I could pack it in there. I think that's what they're doing with the balloon in the air.
But I don't think the clown balloons won't like fill up on one side to the point where it'll take all the air of the entire balloon. You know what I'm saying? Like
There's not enough.
They won't expand. Like,
They don't have enough give. They'll just pop. You think?
That's what I assume based on my knowledge of clown balloons. Like you blow up a clown balloon and it's and there's always that little tip where it's like a floppy tip or whatever. And then I know you could
The nipple on the end.
you squeeze air into that.
Yeah,
and it's
that's
like
called the Ron Jeremy when you do that. And you can't say that anymore because he's a horrible person.
It's the poodle tail. You squeeze a little
yeah, I like Ron Jeremy better than Poodle Tail.
But I mean, for sure, we just looked this up on the
Why
internet.
don't we call it Jeremy the Poodle? Because I feel like that's a hybrid.
Still in jail, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Forever,
yeah,
right?
forever. Yeah, he's
Forever.
done. What were we talking about? Where am I going here? Oh,
Sausage.
breakfast sausages. I think we're done with that, right?
How do you feel about Canadian bacon?
I mean, I like it. I like all breakfast meats. I'm a breakfast meat guy. I'll even do link sausage. It's not my favorite. It's inferior sausage to me. I like Tennessee Pride spicy sausage. That's what I like, the hot. But they don't sell it anymore.
I will
They
tell
sell
you.
Jimmy Dean, and Jimmy Dean isn't spicy enough.
I
That
like
dumb old man.
the smaller wrinkled link sausage compared
Wrinkle
to
links.
a big old thick boy Because sometimes
You like smoked sausages. You use those for breakfast. You use like
Little Smokies?
Little Smokies, but that is not a traditional breakfast meat.
No,
That's
well,
a
yeah.
traditional Christmas meat that your grandma puts grape jelly in a can of barbecue sauce and puts the weenies in there, and then she thinks it's some sort of amazing gourmet treat. It's not. It's garbage.
Like every once in a while, I'm on like a fancier hotel that has like a nice breakfast buffet. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? And then I go to it, and because they're fancy, they feel it. They feel the need to have a fancier link sausage.
Yes.
And then I open up the silver thing, and then they got big old thick boys in there, and I'm like, oh god,
Yeah, it's too big.
They got the thick boys. Just have the wrinkled small links.
Rankle
Not
links.
the big thick boy.
You like them rankle links, the little rankles.
Yeah. No need for the big thick boys.
Well, none of this would happen if you had the patties. Like a good American would have patty sausage. Patty sausage is the better sausage.
I'll go with.
Can you put links on a breakfast sandwich?
Do you
Can
like?
if you slice them in half and then lay them on their tummies.
Oh yeah, who wants to
I
lay
do
their?
that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
If
well,
all I have is links, yeah.
under
Wow.
under the same argument of the big thick boy links and the small shriveled links,
Rankle links.
they have the patties. Sometimes they have the big old thin coaster patties.
I like a coaster patty.
And then
better for a sandwich.
Sometimes they have a smaller thick patty, like
a
mini-
hockey puck.
like
Yeah,
a mini
Tuna
hockey
Can
puck.
Dan.
Yeah. So what do you like?
I like somewhere. I make my patties bigger and flatter because I like them to take up the circumference of the English muffin or biscuit I'm putting it on. There's nothing
Okay.
I hate more than when I put a sausage patty on a biscuit and the sausage patty is about the size of a quarter. That's the dumbest thing in the world.
Yeah, but sometimes, and I notice this with the cheaper hotels, they will offer a patty option to the breakfast.
Yeah.
And it's a abnormally large, flat patty.
That's the big great value.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
pre-made.
cheapo.
That's a computer patty.
It's
Yep.
a cheapo patty
No, it's
with
made
all
out of a
floppy.
machine. No, that's not a handmade patty.
It's rubber.
I do
No.
a handmade, not overly held either, because you don't want to render that fat with your hands. I'm getting it. I put it down. Put it in there. My mom would never smash out the patties. She would just take the sausage and put it in there and just kind of let it cook. So it's like she's cooking meatballs. They're like round. I'm like, come on, Mom.
All right.
Use your noggin.
We're talking breakfast, so we got to talk about beans and the Brits.
I like beans at a breakfast.
Butler, get in here. Let's
I
talk
like
about
beans at breakfast. I like it.
Now, what does it complement? The
It's
eggs?
proteins. It's got a savory
I think
flavor.
people put it on toast.
Yeah,
right?
you put it on beans on toast. Yeah, man.
like a bean sandwich.
Yeah. It's beans on toast. There's a song about it in Peppa Pig.
Is that, do we want that?
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I like beans.
Here's how I know we don't want it.
And I like baked beans. I will eat baked beans at any meal. I think baked beans are the only food I can eat at any meal.
I feel like if we wanted that, we would see more baked beans being offered in traditional American breakfasts.
It's not an American thing.
No,
though.
it's not an American
know,
thing.
but
And you guys are ignorant. You don't like flavor. You like link sausage. You're not going to have beans in it. If you go to a man's house and he has link sausage, you ain't going to find no beans.
Well,
Close-minded.
I know it's not traditional American, but if it complemented the flavors,
It
then
does.
we would have adopted it. That's all I'm saying.
Not true. Smoked sausage is smoked meat. Sausages, bacon, that's all smoked meat. Smoked meat and baked beans go hand in hand.
I know.
This is incorrect.
No, I understand that we eat beanie weenies and we eat smoked meats.
I love...
When's the last time you've had beanie weenies?
Dude, like a month ago. I'm a trashman. I make no bones about the fact that I will cut up hot dogs and put them in baked beans and eat that with my daughter. I love it.
I
trash
never get a
person.
chance to eat any of this stuff because of
You can
my
do veggie
family.
beanie weenie.
Sad life.
Ah.
Dude, veggie dogs taste just like hot dogs. It's just salt. Salt in a tube.
They
I've
won't
never
eat
had
beans.
Beanie Weenies either.
Yeah,
Oh, your kids don't like beans?
No, they
Yeah,
hate beans.
Maisie picks and chooses what she eats.
They hate beans? All beans?
May don't like beans.
It's just one of those things that I'll force them to eat it and they gag
do
it
they
down.
eat?
They
What
the same.
do they eat?
Just that
Bread.
bread and cheese, like the same old boring white kids and
My
every other
God.
white kid that I know. It's like they like no flavors, just whatever grilled cheese and hot dog and mac and cheese.
It's out of
and
my control now. Maisie
chicken
doesn't
nugget.
eat anything. She's super active, but she won't eat anything because she's super picky. And I've given up. I don't do anything anymore. All she eats is yogurt. I'm like, that's fine. Just eat your yogurt. I don't care anymore.
I force them to
I
eat
don't
the
care.
vegetables, but they don't want, it's what
I just let her eat candy.
beans. So what is good about it?
I don't know, man.
The bean expert Butler.
When I was a kid, we used to have baked beans on toast for dinner. That was that was a piece of toast with
man.
baked beans on top.
So
That
that's
was
why
dinner.
you're gay.
It seems
I
like
had
we had all
fried
kinds
potato
of-
sandwiches. It's
Yeah.
pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Poor people.
Man,
Basic beans,
we would just do a can of
breakfast
spam.
and dinners.
And what's the side? Spam. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
a can of spam.
like I like baked beans. I just
I think if you tried this with your linked sausage and you were dunking with like maybe a piece of
I
toast.
feel like they'd be perfect for your camping trips.
I honestly think you
Yay!
might like this. I think you're throwing a little heat at something that if you tried it, you might be like, oh, dude, the savory taste of these beans on that toast with the sausage.
I know it
Try
goes
some of the
to-
Heinz baked beans in the Publix British aisle. It's a different baked bean altogether.
It is.
I know it goes well with sausage because we established the beanie weenies, but with the other breakfast foods, like it's the same thing with the French and their salad with their breakfast. Didn't like that as well. I was like, no need for this. It doesn't really complement anything. Like I understand it's a lighter and I shouldn't be eating so much bread, which that's
well, the
good.
French, they like their bread too. Let's slow down
I
a
know,
second,
yeah.
Frenchie. You're over there with a full baguette, bigger knife.
but it's not-
Buttery as hell too.
But it's not
Oh
like
yeah, they love butter on their sandwiches.
All
They'll
I'm s-
butter a bologna sandwich. The French. Have you ever had a French sandwich over here? You go to that guy and get a turkey sandwich. They'll take a baguette and he'll put 3 pounds of butter on it and then the turkey on
I
top.
want
It's
that.
delicious,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
whole different way of eating.
Well, butter complements things like that. That I understand. It's just the salad and the beans. It's like it's a weird go-to flavor that doesn't seem complementary to the eggs.
Okay, let me throw something at you that my wife does and see where the three of you land on this. She'll do biscuit, egg. I'll cook all this up for her. I'm the cook, so it's biscuit, egg, patty sausage, slice of cheese.
Oh, already mad. She puts the egg on the bottom and then sausage?
No, I don't know how.
Always sausage first.
I don't know the order. I don't want to get
Yeah.
that wrong. I don't know the order, but I believe we put cheese on egg because egg's still hot. That melts cheese, and then sausage on biscuit, and then egg with cheese melted on top of sausage. I think that's
Okay.
And then on top of cheese, she'll put one giant scoop
Of beans?
strawberry jelly. Savory sweet sandwich, and she'll eat the whole thing. It's
Not
like
for me.
It's a savory sweet mix.
It's
She
like a Monte Cristo kind of.
yes, very much a Monte Cristo. She likes a jam with a salty savory egg cheese thing.
Okay.
That's kind of the
I can get down with that.
That's the basis behind a McGriddle, right? It's like you have pancake, you have the sweet
correct.
pancake, and then the
Savory
salty,
sausage,
yeah.
salty bacon.
That's fine. That's fine. But the beans, it's like no one's
he
explained to
hates
me.
the
Like,
beans. Okay.
no, I don't hate it. I like beans.
We're not doing it for
We're not
you.
doing
We're
it
not
for
going to
you.
do it.
We're not going to do it for you.
But
we're not your.
I don't see how it complements
I'm not
eggs.
your effing monkey.
He was like,
Hey, if I get you a can of those Heinz beans, fire that
It's
up
just
this
because
weekend.
you're not used to doing it.
Fire it up this weekend and
You'll like it, I
and do
bet.
a TikTok. We need more TikToks.
Yeah.
I'll buy you the can of Heinz beans.
Well, that to me tells me it's just purely traditional and
Yeah.
it's not complimentary.
No, it is. I think it is though.
Because if it was, then other restaurants in
most-
America would have picked
I
it
think
up.
it's the same argument that you would use about the chili cook-off with the vegetarian thing. I think most Americans are like, ew, gross, beans with breakfast.
Yeah.
Because
So
it's
just the
not
way
a-
our culture.
I
Yeah,
believe
it's
that
just
is
the
what
way
it
you
is.
grew up, and your dad didn't do it, so you're not going to do
Exactly.
it. But
Yeah.
man, I've done it. In fact, I did it over at Phil's house. I had breakfast with him one time, and they did the beans. And the thing that I liked about the beans is not so much the bean, it's the bean sauce, because the bean sauce is useful for toast and egg and other
Yes.
things that get dry or don't taste as good. That sauce, it's like my mouth's watering right now. It's like a Heinz 57. It's like a savory sauce.
So you're using it as a way for you to collect other flavors with your toast and whatnot.
I think that's accurate. I think that's accurate.
But it seems to me more related to the toast than the eggs. Anyway, I'm just trying to figure it out.
What's your favorite breakfast food? What's the one you have to have? See, to me, it's sausage over eggs. But I know I'm in the minority. I
Yeah.
know that you guys are egg lovers. I know that this guy, Maisie asked me how many eggs. This is a true story. I go, hey, Tommy and Max, they love eggs. Their daddy makes them eggs. Because I was trying to get her to eat her egg, and she's, just so slow and not doing anything I'm asking. And she's like, oh, they can eat eggs? They're vegetarians. I go, yeah, they eat eggs. They love them. They're allowed to eat the eggs. They're into it. They eat a lot of eggs. I said that they eat 2 eggs apiece. Isn't that right?
If it's they
Meg can
used to-
barely eat 1 egg.
Yeah, now it's just like usually one fried egg.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
a piece. Yeah.
so you guys
But they'll eat a hard boiled egg.
but you guys see that's awesome. That's not happening in my household.
It's the only meat product or whatever that.
But
they
it's
eat.
good.
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
it's healthy. I want her to eat that sort of thing.
But
How do
she
y'all
get-
feel about soft-boiled eggs?
I don't. for something happened to me as an adult, as a kid growing up, something happened in my 30s and 40s where I think eggs are stinky now. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, you've said
Something
this for
happened.
years, yeah.
No, it's weird because I like eggs. I have no problem with eggs. I can cook them, fry them. I know how to do all kinds of crazy stuff with them. I know how to cook them in any way that you could ever want them. But something happened in my 30s and 40s where I started to fall.
People's taste buds change.
Is it because of something I've done? Like,
you could have been egged out.
They're
too many
saturated.
eggs.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
If you strip everything away, they are disgusting. Like, just by the pure fact that it is what it is.
No, my wife is like,
and then it's like it's a animal's reproductive, the way, all it needs is the rooster's sperm, and then it'll be a chicken in there. But it's like, it's too closely related to like a female human's egg.
Okay, softy.
I'm just saying, like, I eat a lot of eggs. I like them, but I'm just saying if you boil it down, they're gross at the core.
Anything from an animal product is, when you boil it down, is gross.
And there's a little blood dot in there.
People eat brains and cow tongue. And
it all comes down to culture.
I just wish it hadn't happened because the egg, especially the hard-boiled egg, which is the one
That's the stinkiest, though.
That is the one that, this is my nightmare before Christmas again. This is something that I look at and go, if you could just get into this, it's so healthy for you. You put one in your pocket. You're trying to be healthy. You're thinking of high-protein snack. Boop. Oh, I'm satisfied and yummy. I can't do it. I cannot eat a hard-boiled. I've never, in 45 years, I've never eaten a full hard-boiled egg. I cannot do it. I can't.
Ooh, the Great Egg Challenge.
Weird. I'll try to do it Friday if you guys want. I'm game for anything these days. But, man, it's the yellow part becomes a piece of wet chalk.
Yeah.
The yolk becomes chalk that is wet for some reason. It's smearable chalk.
I feel like it depends how you cook it.
And sometimes the yellow part turns green-blue. Why?
That's too
Why
much.
does it turn green-blue?
Overcooked.
And I don't get it. I don't get it. It's weird.
Smell like farts when they're hard.
They kind of do smell like farts, but the more you open it, the more it smells, and then you can't get it off your hands. And I'm like, why is this so disgusting? Why is this so healthy? Why can't we just make hot dogs just as healthy?
If you start looking at your food, and this is completely cultural, like in the fact that we think some things that other people do are disgusting. Like, I always boil it down to if an alien landed and then you start explaining like how we eat eggs, that they would be disgusted by it, right? Because they would be like, you eat the eggs of other animals, like the reproductive eggs. And they were like, why do you do that? It's like,
yeah, but even other animals on Earth eat other eggs. Animals' eggs.
All
animals.
All the time.
Well,
Sam and
it's
Butler.
an animal thing to do. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm explaining this to a super intelligent alien.
They might like eggs too.
He's my best friend.
No. They're just.
They might eat their own eggs.
Yeah. They might be carnivores.
No, this just came out of me. Hold on. That's hard boiled.
At that point, they're just eating some like tiny pellet that gives them all the nutrients.
This isn't Willy Wonka.
They're advanced species.
Sam and Butler and the entire chat room just told me something that I didn't know, and I want to know why, and I guess we can look it up. Why do hard-boiled eggs' yellow yolks turn blue-green when they're too boiled? I feel like that should be the sign not to eat them. Remember, guys, when you put the chicken's egg in there, if you boil it too much, the yellow center that you know what it is will turn blue-green. That's a warning sign, right? Don't eat me.
It happens because the hydrogen in the egg white combines with the sulfur in the yolk.
Oh, you mix the farts.
So it means it's when you boil the eggs for too long.
Okay, so now thank you, chat room. Thank you, Sam.
So if
thank
you
Butler.
overboil it, not only does it turn green, but it will give you more of a sulfur fart smell.
Well, how do I know the optimum way to boil an egg?
You gotta boil the water, put the eggs in, let them boil for 12 minutes, turn the heat off, leave the lid on. Wait another 5.
Oh, you don't do the ice water?
No ice bath?
I don't do the ice bath.
Yeah.
That's to make it easier to peel.
Oh my God!
That's what you need. Because
see what this is? This
then
is
you're
when
over
all
the
your
sink.
cool friends do their cool thing, and you sit on the outside, and I'm hearing you
It's
guys.
not that cool, man.
No, you guys are swapping
Nerdy
stories.
egg.
No, I want to be.
We're eggheads over here.
I'm gonna eat eggs while I watch Nightmare Before Christmas.
Do it. Do everything you dislike in a UCF jersey.
I'm gonna make myself love it.
You just reminded me of something that I'm really mad about.
I'm giving myself grit.
Grumpy old man.
I'll be watching it on an iPad at a UCF game,
So,
eating eggs.
I'm peeling hard-boiled eggs over the sink, and then my wife's like, "Don't let any eggshell go down in the garbage disposal.
Yeah,
it's
ruins
bad
it.
for you.
It
Ruins
ruins
it."
it. My wife told me
and
that.
then he's like, "The plumber said that." And then I talked to Emerald Plumber. He's like, "Have you been putting eggshells down there?" No, don't do that. And I'm like, "Hold on, I've got a fork stuck down there, and I reach down there, and there's a bunch of gears, and it seems like a robot's
It's
heart.
a slimy wheel. It's a slimy wheel. Like when I reach down
it's
there,
all
it's
metal
like,
gears, though.
When I reach down in there, it's like touching Swamp Thing ceiling fan. It's like, ew, yuck.
Yes, so but it's all like grinding metal machinery down there, and you're telling me that it can't handle a goddamn eggshell? It's too weak.
Ridiculous.
I'm like,
ridiculous.
Design it so it can grind up anything. It can grind up a pencil. It can't handle an eggshell.
Can it grind up a pencil?
An eggshell is the GD.
He's mad. He's very mad.
Shaking.
But it's supposed to be the weakest. That's weird. Walking
Yeah.
on eggshells.
Here's
There's a goddamn expression. It can't handle it. It can't handle the weakest thing we have to offer it. You gotta eat a pencil. Anyway.
There's other things they tell you.
It's
not
like,
to put
oh,
down
don't
there.
put your hand out. You grind my hand up and I can't handle an eggshell. Stupid.
This, my wife also told me you're not supposed to put onion skins down there. There's a whole bunch of stuff you
Yeah.
can't put down there. I'm like, well, tell me the stuff
Oh,
I
I
can't
didn't know
put.
that.
What
I didn't
can
know
I put
that.
down there?
Oh, the last. Oh, wait
You
for
can't
it.
put onion skins. You can't put.
Here, I got a list.
Coffee
Yeah,
grind.
my
We're
wife
doing
was
something
giving me
like
a whole
that.
list too. I
90s
was like,
radio. 8 things you should never put down your garbage.
yeah,
disposal.
list.
No, I'm not joking.
Number 1, coffee grounds.
God damn it.
Our thing didn't work the other day, and then they called Emerald Plumbing. They came by. and
gotta
They're
they're
like,
wrench?
it's the eggshell.
No, you need the wrench. Sometimes it gets got all gunky.
They said to my wife, "You're putting too much food down there.
You're putting your tampons down here, ma'am.
You can't handle that much." And she's like, "Okay." So now I can't put nothing down. She bought a damn stopper.
Goddamn screen.
She bought the screen.
Not
and
the
disgusting.
screen.
And I
It's
feel-
snotty. You're screwed.
And then I'm like,
If you
"Not
got the
screen,
dude, if you got the screen, you'll never use that thing again. You might as well. You might as well take the switch off.
It ruined my life. I was
Yeah.
like, "What do I even have this
You're done.
machinery?
Yeah.
Why am I rich?
You're done.
Why have I even done? Why have I worked hard? I have to have the screen."
Yep. We have the
It's
screen.
all for nothing.
We have the screen. I don't even use it anymore. I put a piece of tape over the switch. I'm like, we don't use this thing. You might as well unwire
They're
it.
like, "Oh, don't put food down there. Don't put eggshells. Don't put nothing
But
away."
you know what I
Well,
do
why
say?
do we have it?
You know what I do see? I see my wife pull a lot of measuring cups out of there. I'll tell you that right now. Somebody's not doing her checks. All of my measuring cups, the front of them, all of my little measuring spoons, my tablespoons and my teaspoons, all the front of them, they have little mustaches of fuzzy plastic where and nobody fixes them. Nobody cares. All the back end of them where you should hang them on something, the little hook has been shattered from the robot heart, smashed it. Because nobody cares. Nobody cares.
I mangled one of the kids' tiny forks that Crystal got so mad at me. She's like, "That's a baby fork from the original when they were born or whatever." And I was like, "It can mangle a fork, but it can't handle GD."
So it can handle the shells, but it says if you do it like regularly, it will eventually make a buildup in between the
Now
gears.
here's what I started telling people.
Because a lot of people don't clean their disposals.
You know what I tell people? I tell, hey
yeah,
man,
clean.
that's
You guys don't clean them?
Hell no,
What,
it's
put
down there.
some Dove down
clean
there?
'em. I don't clean my own butt. Why would I clean a garbage disposal?
I turn on the water and I turn it on. And
that's
then
cleaning
I'm
it.
like, put some soap over. Oh.
Yeah, they got the black plastic over the top of it, so I'm assuming the demons don't fly out. Like, I don't know why it does.
Oh
For
man,
the
I'm gonna
poo flies.
Crystal's new thing now because we're getting soap scum and buildup in our shower that we have to. God damn it, we have to have this portable black fan that sits on top of our toilet, running at 24 hours a day, blowing air inside of our shower, and it's driving me insane.
Wait, why?
And
They're
then
drying the shower.
I have
It's a
to
shower
go
drain.
and I'm peeing in front of it like and blowing air in my face like I'm standing on a sailboat.
Like you're Beyonce performing?
And then I sit down to deuce and it's blowing on the back of my head.
Your old cockatoo, your pop is getting blown.
I'm like, this
on
is
an
my life.
airstrip.
Why did I even try in life? This is how I have to live.
I'm
Such a beautiful
confused
bathroom.
on what the fan is doing.
It's to keep the air circulating so
Yeah.
you don't get stagnant wet air that,
Oh, yeah,
that
she-
will
Can't you
provide
just install
mildew.
a fan in the bathroom?
No, the portable one's better.
I thought he was rich.
I like a poop.
Well, you can,
TV
but
on the TV.
then believe me, then you have to cut a hole through the roof, which we just got our roof
Yeah, you
redone,
don't
and then
wanna
it
do that.
ruins the integrity of our new roof. I went through all this before
okay.
because I was just like, let's get Bracket or someone to come and install the damn fart fan. It's like, no, the roof, you have to vent it into somewhere. You can't vent into your attic because then it vents mold into your attic.
All you'll be doing is wetting your attic.
So now I just have to sit and have a fan blow on me my entire life and scream, why did I even do anything?
Well,
this is how I have to live.
I think we're going to get to this on Friday's Friday Free Show, but I'm putting my foot down in the Dennis household, and I'm ripping all the carpet out. The brand new carpet.
Before the dogs die?
Before the dogs die.
That's not a good
I'm
move.
not going to allow these little MFs to ruin something that I love that much.
Well, they're going to ruin the new stuff.
No, I'm putting down tile.
Oh,
And
okay.
if you want to go crazy, knock yourself out because I will pick you up and I'll body slam you in your own pee-pee.
Yeah.
No, you're just
Easier to
step
clean
in the
up the blood.
pee-pee. I know you're not going to hurt your dog.
No, I love my dogs too much. They're my best friends.
They beat you. It
They
makes
won.
me so happy.
Yeah, we're going to talk about this. We got guests at the door. Bye-bye.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. So we got some guests in studio, brand new watering hole.
This is awesome.
And in a location, I was just talking to the guys about that. I've only known Dade City for one thing.
Okay.
Growing up, and it's always been for the motocross track they had at Dade City.
Yes.
And because all like my friends that were into motocross in Miami are like, oh, I went up to Dade City, raced up at Dade City, and then from going to Brooksville is like, oh, at Dade City motocross
you hear
track.
about it.
And it was just
it's on the way, right?
yeah, and I guess it just, depends on the circle you're in, where I'm sure it's known for a lot of other things. But now it's known for beer.
Yes.
Because we got the guys from Dade City Brewhouse here, Ryan and Rob. How you doing?
Doing good.
Hey, we're good.
Hey, thanks
How
for
you guys
coming in,
doing?
y'all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very nice to
Excited
meet
be
you.
here.
Yeah, glad you're a watering hole. How did you guys get into the beer making business? Because I hear tell it's quite popular with the kids. The kids like their beer.
Yeah, we've heard that a few times. Well, I'll let you go first.
Ryan is our brewer, and the two primary owners who started it, Jeff and Mike, Jeff just always wanted a brewery, and he planned, and he lives in Dade City, and
there it goes. How does one go about finding a brewer for beer if you want? Okay, so you got your buddy wants
Craigslist. You can get them on.
but I mean, stranger things have happened.
How do
Right?
you
I have really good friends that have really high level jobs. They're like, yeah, so the opening on Craigslist. That's like a real thing now.
It's actually like a brewer's Craigslist. It's called Pro Brewer, and so it's just what we use. That you can do. You can buy equipment. You can sell stuff. You can find jobs. You can offer yourself up for jobs too. So you can put your criteria out there, and they'll go and look for it.
That's really cool.
So yeah, it's great. And so I was just looking. I was living in Asheville, North Carolina, working for Wicked Weed Brewing, and I was online going to move back to Tampa, and it popped up, and I was like, Dade City. We used to go to like little car shows there when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I was like, I remember that little town. That place is awesome. So I called up, and we had mutual friends and did an interview, and then it was like a month later I was flying down to move down with me and my wife and my baby. Yeah, so
congrats.
Thank you.
Very, very cool.
So I wonder how they named Dade City, because it was like the city of Dade, like down in Miami-Dade County.
Yeah,
like that's how I grew up. It was a significantly different
Dade.
Everyone gets them confused. They're like, Miami, right? I'm like, not at all.
Also, there's
not a
like
beach.
What's the opposite of that?
There's also like almost like a Dodge City vibe too with Dade City. When I hear Dade City, I'm like, well, obviously they did gunfighting there. Right? I think that's what a lot of people do. Like, most people are just ruled by ignorance, right? You just go with like a little bit of something you heard. You're like, of course, yeah, that's the Wild West town.
Yeah.
So what kind of beer did you guys bring in? So because I see you you have some here.
Yes.
We got deliciousness here.
And my favorite part of talking to the watering holes and the breweries that come in
Thank you, sir.
is drinking their delicious beer. So what do we got here?
I love your branding, first of all, because I'm going to point out something that I love.
Simple.
Thank you.
That's what I like, but I prefer, like, it just, to me, it's classy, simple. I don't want it to be like a negative thing. Like, this, to me, it's a no-nonsense. And one of the things that I like, and I know our friend Fisher's talked about this, Sam, is that they're not biting anybody's intellectual property on this
Right.
can. They're not trying to steal from Sour Patch Kids. They're not trying to profit off of M&Ms or Mars. They're not. It doesn't look like this. Doesn't look like Tupac. This isn't. I'm trying to think of the other ones I've seen, and I know that's a thing. And
So
I'm
that's
not,
weird. All of our other cans look exactly like the stuff you just
probably
described.
so. People do that, but I like their natural branding. It's just very clean, very classy.
I don't know. I think you should go with a Squid Games type of
Yes!
where all graffiti art of Squid Games. There it goes. You can take that idea.
So this is Marzen Attacks.
Yep. So it's a Marzen style. If you've heard of Oktoberfest, it's the same thing. They kind of have a similar name. There's Fest beer, Oktoberfest, and then Oktoberfest is usually the Marzen style.
So what does that mean, Marzen?
It's a German word.
But what is it, like a technique or style of beer?
So it's a style of beer. So that specific beer is going to be a lager. It's amber, usually in color. Kind of lighter in taste, but still has more of that malty. Some people refer to it as caramel or biscuity. It depends on.
What do you think of that one, buddy?
It.
Oh, that's good. That's
Hey.
real good. yeah. Like
I would say it's
See what we got
comparable
here.
to like if you've ever had a Sam Adams Oktoberfest.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
going to be in that exact
That's a dangerous beer for me. I really enjoy that
It's a very
beer.
similar category. People usually put it out in the fall, right before October.
Am I correct into thinking? I was talking to someone about this. Why I like
what's that? 5.2
drinking craft beer from breweries so much. I'm like and maybe this is just pure psychological or whatever, but I'm like it tastes way fresher, and there's no beating that fresh taste
It
of
tastes
a
bigger.
new craft beer. And am I correct in the fact that I could taste that? And if this can had sat here for, let's say, 2 months, and I tasted it, could I taste the difference? Like if you gave me okay, all right.
Oh, for sure. Well, and it's the main thing is there's just things that happen over time. You have shelf life for a beer, so you're gonna lose flavors, aromas. You're gonna gain other ones that you don't really want, like oxidation. It makes it taste like cardboard. So over time, if you have a beer that's 6 months old, you usually taste that. But yeah, for the most part, I guess that's the best way to put it is just a lot of flavors just start to happen over a couple months.
Gotcha. Is there any new technology that's gone into the brewing of the beer that we don't know about? Because I feel like everything progresses so quickly that one day that maybe could they take the human element out of it and just have
this is what I was thinking. I was
They absolutely can.
I was wondering when they would.
Don't make them nervous.
Get a robot.
So can we do that off air?
Yeah, one of the things that I wonder about though is because you see this a lot with like AI, and you see this a lot with they did it recently with like Joe Rogan, where he's broadcast enough, and I know we've done it, where you could steal every word he's ever said, and then you can recreate conversations that he's never said by just piecing all his words together.
Robot Rogan won't be as red though.
Yeah, no, he's actually quite blue, and almost like a gray. But what's weird is that I've wondered if, and they've done this with, I want to say they did this 2 years ago with like a Nirvana song, where they fed AI like all the information that they could think of about the songwriting process and influences of Nirvana, and then this computer spit out what would be considered a new Nirvana tune.
Yeah.
And when you went and listened to it, yes, it sounded like a Nirvana song. And I wonder if you could take beer knowledge and squish it into a computer and have this computer barf out what it expects to be.
Some
this is a recipe.
Yeah, recipe.
Try this recipe, and you will. I'm sure someone's done that,
absolutely.
right? They've had to have
I don't
done
know
that.
if they've done it, but I know they're like, if we needed to, we could just completely cut out. Because at the end of the day, all you're doing is high stakes baking. You're just adding ingredients, timing it, and hitting temperatures. It's.
But it seems like more art to that, and I'll explain
is,
because
yes.
I feel like you could build a robot to cook a meal, and I still feel like the human can do it better than the
What
robot.
are you? Well, it's like
I
you're
don't
doing.
know.
It's
I
like
don't
Bagger
know.
Vance. Get a robot to cook a meal. It ain't ever gonna have no soul. Like I wonder, what am I like? Who are you? Like a ghost in a movie trying to teach me a lesson?
I don't know, because you're right. You're just following like essentially it's just you're doing chemistry, right? And then like a robot should be able to do simple, or I mean, this is kind of complex chemistry or
Yeah,
whatever.
very complex.
But I feel like is there
good.
any art involved into it? Is there like
Yes. There absolutely is, and I mean, there's technical brewing, there's very artistic brewing. I've worked for a brewery that was, at least in the beginning, was culinary inspired beer, so they had a lot of these just insane flavors, adding insane ingredients that people have either, only seen in the restaurant industry or have even never heard of. So like there's all that, and it's definitely a new industry. So the people who started it, with like Ken Grossman, Sierra Nevada, they started in garages with equipment they made themselves and welded together. A lot of engineers
just
were
like
I'm done being an
Apple
engineer.
started
Exactly.
with Wozniak and Jobs in the garage. You see that at Epcot when you're going to the mall.
Always a garage, and I'm like, do you have a basement?
We
Or,
started it in the garage, really.
Way more common in basements now. But yeah, so it is that, and it's a labor of love. So the people who do it really like. There's a lot of heart to it. The community is also like it's a crazy industry where we all like help each other out. We're competitors, but we're never actually competing.
We've noticed that.
We're collabing, trying to get each other's names out, because the more people we get to drink craft beers, less people drinking what's called macro.
Yeah, we've talked about that a lot, and it's similar to the podcasting industry and the fact that everybody seems to be willing to help each other out or promote each other rather than look at each other like competition, like a big beer does.
Except you and I are actually we've actually helped finance a movie that they're putting out this year about big beer, and it's called Macro and Me, and it's got like almost like an ET like
a little booger alien. It's a weird.
Any excuse to mention Mac and Me. Any excuse.
Well, I'm terrified.
Yeah,
like if I was a kid and I saw that, I'd be GD terrified. I would not be friended. That's for damn sure. Like I'd be like, ah!
Oh my god!
Like how scary is that thing?
Somebody
even as an
Photoshop
adult.
Chris Fisher's head on that poster and call it Macro and Me.
Do you guys still have to have like I hate government regulation more than
man, and everything you love is regulated. I was at True Leaf
What do you
yesterday,
mean?
and
Isn't it the best?
They were going through putting new stickers on everything because the government just changed something in THC world.
Oh, they're like,
I'm sure in the beer world it's so easy and there's no regulation.
Like truly, they're putting the label on every. By the way, which also makes like a man, I'm buying a lot because it's taking a long time.
Yeah, I was like, how many stickers you got over there?
I am an addict. They're putting a lot of mini stickers on a lot. Like one person should be buying this one. Anyway,
one trip at a Truly, I'm 35 stickers all day long.
Just put one sticker on the whole
Kill the
thing.
trees.
Yeah. This is ridiculous. Anyway, so
the amount of times we have to register a beer with government agencies where they're like, you didn't say this word or that's capitalized and it shouldn't be. It's constant.
So I'm talking about how you have to store your like grain or whatever in like a
so
bunker.
it doesn't explode. Yeah, I love that.
You have to build a bunker to put your grain.
I love the
don't go there.
Have you been to the brewery yet?
No.
Somehow we skated past that.
That's in Dade City. That's only within city limits.
They hooked it up.
In Dade City, you don't need no double insulated blast. You throw your grain anywhere.
They're like, well, you starting fires in here? Well, then we're okay.
Just don't smoke it.
Well, actually, I do, and it's on our Instagram.
Oh, well, you started a fire?
I lit the front of the barrels on fire when taking samples, and it's like the grain's right behind it.
Well, how'd you light the barrels on fire?
With a lighter.
With lighter and
He's
alcohol.
a pyromaniac.
It was just for fun. We don't even have to do it.
I was like, oh, look, the floor's on fire. Great.
These guys are like us. Yeah, we have some fun.
My favorite thing to do.
You know they should invent, and I'm not sure if it's possible because I know it has to be like there's some pressure and stuff. But the giant vats that you brew beer in, it would be cool if they were see-through.
They have that.
They have that? All right.
So in every brewer that I know is like,
oh,
no way
Samantha's like, you asked the dumbest questions. I'm embarrassed.
That's a great question.
No, because there's only like one brewery that has it. It's like basically it's the brew system. So
it's a Scientology brewery though, because it's clear, pure.
Yeah. Sorry. In the fermentation, I think it would end up like ruining it because you don't want light in, but they do it in the brew tank. So
what about the glass line tanks of Latrobe? Right? You always heard about that when you're in college and you're drinking Rolling Rock until you puke on your girlfriend. But they have glass line tanks.
Have you ever seen what it looks like?
No.
It's like pool, like at the bottom of a pool, like blue tile.
Yeah.
And those like it's like looks like that. Like it's just lined inside of a. It used to be clay, but then they did inside of metal ones.
You know what I want to do? It's one of our brewery friends. I want them to fill the tank with like really nice water, and then you and I get in there and swim around and take photos.
I think it makes no sense too because it doesn't do anything.
What, like the glass lining?
It doesn't, like people say, like, oh, it doesn't do anything.
It's the people are
it's
just like,
cool.
I want to see inside, and then when you see,
Ooh, beer.
it's like why they added a glass front to washing machines, like or dryers
Check
or whatever.
that out.
I don't have any of that because I have like the poor models.
Well, then you don't need to see it in there. It's doing something. It's fine. Like, you don't need to see it, but dumb people.
Well, your oven, you
it's
still
like, I wanna
open your
see-
oven.
I want to see the magic that's happening.
You still open your oven and look at it. Like, name one person that turns the light on and looks in the window. It's still too dark. I'm like, I can't see anything. I don't know how brown my nuggies are.
I gotta look at the sauce in there.
Yeah,
There's a lot going on.
you gotta open it to see how dark your nugs are.
I feel like if you cleaned it though, because I don't clean mine, and I feel like if I cleaned it, it would be like clear.
Well,
I'm like, oh, this is on me.
let me clarify. He cleans all of our equipment.
All right.
I meant my oven. I meant my
We
oven
brought our
at
brewer
home.
in and he told him about the no glass double wall blasting site, and then he says he doesn't clean anything.
The tanks.
Let's go back to the brewer. I'm nude every beer I make.
There is a place that does that in Florida.
Of course.
What,
there
nude
is.
brewery?
Yeah, I'm not gonna say.
What?
A brewer brews nude though.
All right.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know that's sanitary.
Yeah, start that rumor.
I'll just let
like, get
people
a
speculate and
pube
see if
net?
they can guess.
So tell us where the brewery is located. So if any, like, well, I know Dade City, but like for people familiar, I imagine around there, like, oh, on this street.
We're like 30 minutes north of Tampa, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, about
then
35 minutes.
We're on one of the main streets, 7th Street, couple blocks right out of downtown from the City Hall.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you ever Google Dade City, the first thing that pops up is our city hall because we're like one of the last historic cities in Florida.
Cool.
And so they have this beautiful city hall, and we're like 2 blocks from that.
We used to be an open air showroom for a car dealership. So.
No, really, your brewery's an old car delership.
That's
cool. I like
cool.
that.
Really cool.
And they are a watering hole. So
But those walls have a lot of racist jokes tucked in.
when you go to
It's in the brick.
when you go to Dade City Brewhouse, just take a picture in front of the watering hole sign.
Let us know.
And let us know you went there. They got some koozies too. Just ask for one. We appreciate you guys coming in.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely.
Very nice meeting you guys. Thanks for coming in, and we'll take a break.
Yep, we'll see you right after this.
All right.
You did it again.
Sweet.
I know.
Yep, we did it again.
I was like, I will see you.
Hold on.
Damn it.
Hold on.
You could have changed
Hold
it,
on,
but
I'm
you're
gonna
like, no.
change it. Here we go. 3, 2. Nope, where it gotta go. Bye.